Welcome back, everybody, to Tabletop Notch. Wow.
Whoa.
We're very, very excited to be back. It was a long couple of months without you, without each other, without our story, Beezaura, Graven, Orba, Safira, Erland. I feel like distant friends that we're getting back in touch with.
Yeah.
Knock that off, that's not Graven.
I mean, yes.
We're thrilled to be back. We don't have any sort of special recap or anything. We're just gonna kind of ease back in, dive back in, just like we never left to begin with. So the people watching on YouTube will have no idea aside from this introduction. Thrilled to have everybody back. Thank you already for. I saw some subscribers and things. Jordan, I'm sure will shout them out maybe after the break or something.
Yes, I have them.
Yeah.
Totally keeping track. I think that one was me, actually.
Oh, well, thank you,
Thank
Jordan.
you.
With that, does anybody have anything they'd like to say? And
Oh no!
I was a little stressed.
Did you forget?
Make one up, just go.
Yeah.
Today is our return day.
The best one yet.
Sorry guys, gonna drop the ball. I was a little stressed about looking over notes, so...
Well, today is Tabletop Notch Day. As
Yeah. If it's not in your calendar that you bought from Staples,
Right.
missed out.
If it's not on today's a holiday, !.com. We should
That's
write
what
it.
you use?
Today's a holiday.
Yes.
Oh my god.
That's your source?
That's the secret site, guys.
There's
I
an
revealed...
exclamation point before the .com?
Yes.
Okay.
Wild.
Oh, FNAF to subscribe. Thank you. I'll just get it right out there. Still looking at the wrong.
Happy early fall.
Yeah, fall is
That's
coming.
true.
Go get your
Dance.
pumpkin spice everything.
Winter is coming.
You may have
Don't say
noticed a
that.
little bit of visual changes. We've updated the theme to reflect our new sort of coastal atmosphere in Navika-Pura in the north and beyond. A little bit of pier, a little bit of moving background.
Whoa,
Right
oh, there's a wave.
There's like a thing and that thing.
Yeah, sextant.
Being close to ships.
I'm trying to find a wave.
Hopefully we won't make our viewers motion sick by having water
Drag
back
Leah
up.
away from the coast.
And the
Should've worn
guest
a little
books have
white.
become the Captain's Log, which hopefully some people enjoyed the sort of entries. The new thing is for subscribers, we are adding people's names to sort of a fake Captain's Log of our journeys across Anti-Suyu. So enjoy those at the beginning and end of every stream. Anything else before we play? The intro has remained the same,
Oh,
so
thank
get
God.
your dun-duns ready.
Dun-dun.
We haven't changed that.
Have a dun-dun in the chamber, basically. Yeah.
Yep.
That's
All
why
right.
I don't have anything.
Let's throw it to the intro,
Okay.
and we'll see you guys on the other side. Welcome back.
Oh, jeez.
In chapter 69,
69.
Flavor for a Favor. The party shook off the aches and pains from their skirmish at the mining pit, and headed back to Leopold's garrison. with a plan to pass quickly through and make the final push toward Navika-Pura. With hopes of sticking to a tight schedule, we vowed to do our best in avoiding distractions. But a unique opportunity presented itself when we spotted a potion seller whose wagon had suffered damage to one of its wheels. He was reluctant to part with his stock of healing drafts that were meant for Captain Autry at the garrison, but a promise to assist with his vehicle and a nudge from his daughter, who was keen to lighten their load, got him to consider a reasonable exchange. In lending our sophisticated palates to describe his delectable potions, he permitted us to purchase a few at a discount, and we left with a solid cache of emergency healing items, which eased the mind after a tough fight against fellow pawn chaser Darman Thori. While traveling through Leopold's, we picked up some additional items to better prepare ourselves for what was to come, including a detailed map of Navika-Pura and a magic urn that could be used to give us the upper hand in combat. As we exited through the north gate, our coin purses had become noticeably lighter, but we knew that as our foes grew stronger, the need to be prepared was paramount. A short while after hitting the road, we witnessed a chase between a man and a company of Broken Crown soldiers, and as they approached, we debated whether or not to intervene, and if so, on whose behalf. Not wanting to take sides and intrigued by a potential reward, we used the writ of service we'd acquired from Amari Magamet to glean what information we could, before turning the soldiers away and addressing the man in private. He introduced himself as Pontus Atling, and he was delivering names of undercover Broken Crown agents in Navika-Pura to the captain at Leopold's garrison, part of an ongoing dispute over maintaining control of the northern colonies. Pontus desired to raise his standing with the Gentle Void, and despite our threats, he refused to give up the names, so he settled for a meager sum of gold and the promise that he'd speak highly of us to his superiors. It left a bad taste in our mouth, but we carried on. And hours later, in the dark of night, we found yet another damaged wagon. Though, unlike our previous encounter, this one had toppled over and was fully abandoned. Some careful prodding revealed that the wagon likely belonged to some kind of herbalist, and among an assortment of roots and flowers, we found a box of Hasku bulbs, notable for the hallucinogenic effects that they have when inhaled. A bit of clumsy handling to Graven, Safira, and Erland getting a good whiff, which made for an eventful ride as they began to see visions of past acquaintances. It was difficult to separate what could have been premonitions from what was entirely a construct of our own minds, but luckily we had the help of Orba and Beezaura, whose clear heads kept us moving in the right direction through the evening. In our approach to Navika-Pura, we deliberated over the pros and cons of splitting up amongst the various townships to accomplish our individual goals more quickly, but ultimately decided that there were few people likely to receive us at this late hour of our arrival. We agreed to travel together to find lodging in Nagarwas. I'll even bring that up. Nagarwas. The Middle Eastern township. And in the morning, we would reevaluate how to divide our tasks in a safe but effective manner. As we followed the winding roads that led us to the Navika River and the communities that surround it, we wondered. Of the vast array of people we planned to meet in Navika-Pura, Carver Colossus, Donovan Ainsley, Celis, Cliff, Leto, Mr. McKenna, Mohan Fowler, Pockets, among others. Who was likely to meet our expectations, and who would surprise us? Were we willing to risk traveling entirely alone between the townships, or would we pair off for some modicum of safety in numbers? And compared to the other major cities that we'd visited, how long could we last before being forced to flee or hide, thanks to some stunt we've pulled or a person we've pissed off? We find out now, on Chapter 7 of A Peek Beneath the Veil. It was dark when you reached the city limits of Nagarwas, and it only continues to dim as you follow what you believe to be the main road into town. You guys are coming up from the south there, along this road, and you've passed over the bridge now officially into the township of Nagarwas. Not because the sky has actually darkened within the past few hours, but because the trees and foliage between the houses are thickly packed together. The few lanterns and braziers that are lit are tucked behind corners, casting harsh shadows that wash over the party as you ride, creating the illusion of people disappearing and reappearing like fireflies flickering in the night. The path leads you to a small cluster of 3 buildings that have a similar aesthetic. These 3 right here at this corner. Red shingled roofs and arched stone windows with drawn yellow curtains. The largest of the 3 has a sign that simply reads, "The Inn at Nagarwas, beds available." And the voices coming within are the first you've heard since your arrival. The road bends to the right toward a larger stone structure in the middle of what looks to be the most densely populated area, though densely populated is relative, here in what is likely the smallest of the 4 townships. The stone building, like most of the dwellings around you, is unlit, though it has the appearance of almost like a small barracks or town hall. The tired clopping of your horse's hooves slow to a stop, and you look around at each other, ready to determine your first order of business upon reaching Navika-Pura.
God, is anyone else sore? I feel like I've been riding for ages.
Yes.
Frankly, that doesn't look too bad to me. I don't know how you guys are feeling, but you know.
It's time for a rest.
Maybe locate some stables as well.
Yeah, we should probably protect the horses. Don't want, another.
We can ask at the inn, see if, well, a few of us check in at the inn. Others can drop the horses off at this nearby stables, I presume.
You can already see like hitching posts outside the inn. You don't see a set of stables immediately.
Would it be safe enough to tie them off there?
For them. I mean, you're tying up your horse.
Fingers crossed.
You looking for guarantees, eh?
Yeah.
There's no bike locks on these.
The club. Who would like to go inside?
I'll go in.
Okay.
I'll go in with Beezaura, and I suppose you guys deal with the horses.
I'll stay here for now.
Right.
Guys, get off your horse. Sort of plop down, and your legs hit the ground immediately. Some of that sort of riding fatigue sets in as you finally, your muscles
Waddle.
relax
Yeah.
for the first time. You start to approach the door. And you can hear a little bit of the noise coming from inside. It does seem like there's some people up and awake in there. A little bit of laughter, a little bit of noise. The lights are on inside. And opening the door to the inn prompts an outpouring of laughter. A sort of group of laughter sort of making its way to the door. Not at you, but at the man.
Shocking.
Excuse me.
A man has just stumbled backward and sort of fallen on his butt, spilling his ale onto his beard and his tunic in the process. There's a rowdy group of 6 kind of sitting around this one table in a very modest room. Fire crackling in the corner. And there's an innkeep or a barkeep, or possibly serving as both. He's adding another log to the fire while keeping an eye out to make sure nobody gets too out of control. As the laughter continues, the man by the fire who's sort of putting a log in, he sees the 2 of you enter. He kind of looks up and he puts the log in. And he gives a look to the people sort of laughing and drinking, and then back to you and sort of gives a apologetic shrug for their sort of noise and disturbance. And he makes his way over to you. He's a rare beardless dwarf, middle-aged. He has long braided red hair that kind of reaches almost down to the floor. It swishes back and forth as he walks. Welcome. Are you also with the excavators? Because we still have beds available.
Oh, cheers. Yeah, we were looking for maybe 2 rooms if you've got any.
Oh, first time in Nagarwas?
Yeah,
Yes.
sorry.
We don't have rooms, we have beds.
Oh, right.
We have 2, you might have seen them across the street. 2 buildings, each building has 8 beds, bunks.
So it's a shared room.
It is, yes. We do provide a chest at the end of each bed, and a key to the chest if you need to put things away.
Okay.
Well, we have 5 in our party. Could we just take one of the rooms with all the beds?
I believe there's already people in both rooms. We have one of the houses has 5 beds available, but 3 of them are already full and paid for.
Okay, well, I think to be safe, maybe we'll put... we can go ahead and book those, right?
Sure.
Excellent. He waddles over to kind of his countertop where he has sort of a ledger and a few papers that he kind of shuffles around. He checks to make sure that, the beds are available that he said were available. Sort of has a little diagram on his chart that has all the beds drawn on them. That will be 1 silver per person per night.
Right.
So 5 beds, 5 silver.
Sure.
Yeah,
Can we I guess in advance, do how many nights?
I suppose we should just pay for one now, and we can go sort of night to night on this, right?
Of course. It's
Okay.
not terribly busy in Nagarwas. I would say if you're interested in staying multiple nights, you could book out the entire room for future nights. It's just tonight
Right,
that there's
right.
beds booked.
I see.
That one in particular.
Okay.
Okay.
Here's 5 silver then.
He takes it. Horses or mules?
Yeah, we've got a few horses. We had sent some of our party to try to find stables for them. And do you have...
No stables here in Nagarwas. We do have hitching posts, and for an extra silver per horse, we do have my nephew watches out for the horses.
Is there a history of the horses being stolen?
No.
Okay.
By his sketchy ass name.
Yeah.
So if we don't pay for your nephew to watch over them, we could still use the...
You may
hitching posts?
use the posts, yes, it's just nobody's watching them.
Okay.
Okay, then we'll just use the posts for now, I guess.
Excellent, no problem. And again, there's kind of another like uproar of laughter, and he kind of
So
sorry.
and your name was?
Yes, I am Albarca Boone.
Albarca. Nice to meet you.
Albarca, Albarca. And welcome to the inn at Nagarwas.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks.
And who did you say is staying here right now?
Oh, well, and he kind of looks over his shoulder, and he points, he sort of gestures to the people that are in the room. We have a number of miners that are working on a large project throughout Navika-Pura. They're here, I don't think they're working tomorrow, so they're taking a bit of a night off.
I see.
Right, I can see that.
I'm happy to get you a drink if you wish, but if you need to speak to your companions, that's all right.
Probably go out for
Yeah,
a
we'll
chat
go out and
first
get
and then drink later. Yeah.
Sure, your house is, if you exit the building, it's the one on the right. And do you like keys for the chests at the foot of the bed?
Yes,
That'd
we
be
will
great.
definitely
One
want
for
keys.
each?
Yeah, 5.
He goes over to his drawer and he kind of looks. Okay. And he hands the keys out.
I'll take them.
Sorry.
He splits them up and he has each. It's the first 5 when you come in, the first 2 on the left and the first 3 on the right.
Great.
Okay, thank you.
He sort of goes back to, he seems like he's filling another mug for something.
You said it was the house.
On the right. Yeah, so when you exit, there's 2 other buildings seated.
Okay.
So this is the building that you're in, this one here. So when you exit, there's one on the left
Oh,
and
I
one
see.
on the right. So he's
Okay.
saying you guys are in the one on the right there.
I'm gonna make my way kind of outside. So, no stables, hitching posts, and we've got a room, no privacy. We've got
For
3
right now, anyway.
For the moment, I suppose. We just bought one night. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to be doing. I figured, if we tooled around and we found somewhere else we wanted to go, maybe that was more private, we could do that. But anyway, this place is cheap. We've got 3 other people in our, bunk.
Right, we might make it to another area of the city before tomorrow night.
Yes.
This night.
We could have
Later today.
paid an extra silver to have that guy's nephew watch over our horses. Apparently that's the security system, but
We're allowed to use the posts, but if we want extra security, I
I'm not
guess.
basically don't leave anything valuable on your horse.
I mean, I have some things in a saddlebag, so I'd like the
I
horses.
mean, I would take that inside.
I asked
with
if there were
you.
any
We've got
history
we've
of
got
horses
I'm-
being stolen, and he said no, but
I mean,
to each his own, I guess.
We've got
What
keys.
happens
Is it medical history? You're like, do you have a history of
What what were to happen theoretically if I pay for my horse to be watched and you don't, and somebody comes and steals your horse? The nephew just doesn't do anything?
Oh,
I
that'd be.
suppose.
That's a good question, though. Honestly.
The whole thing seems very relaxed here, if I do say so.
I imagine, so we're sharing this building with a few strangers who may
Yeah.
already be asleep in there.
Well, just
Right.
so we have a sense of what's going on. Apparently, there's some kind of mining excavation. There seem to be workers, and everyone's getting quite rowdy and drunk. So I think maybe if we keep ourselves to ourselves, we avoid. I don't know. I have no idea what they've got going here. We should maybe ask. Probably ask.
We're
but-
all in the same room, essentially. It's just there's 3 others that we don't know.
I suggest we still set up watches as we would if we were out in the wilderness.
Right. Not a bad idea.
Terrible idea, yeah. I'm going to pay to have my horse watched, though.
Okay.
I'm going to as well. Are you suggesting that we watch the horses outside or watch inside?
I think that being on watch, we can be aware of. It's not. I mean, it's
Well,
not
look, if
super
anyone
far
is-
away from that building to where the.
You could see across the street to the horses. If that's
If anyone is going to
Oh.
nick anything,
Keep an eye
and
out.
they're in our,
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
we've got
You're
the.
welcome to spend the silver. I'm
No, I
not
think
going
it's
to.
smart.
Who do I owe for the room?
It's okay. It was fairly cheap.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
new town, new Beezaura.
Yeah. Beezaura, are you okay?
It's the least I could do.
Orba puts her hand to her forehead. Make
Yeah.
sure she's.
Were they free?
Navika-Pura.
Yeah.
Just so I
You
have
just
my.
lied.
We here.
Is this the same day as tasting the potions?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's past midnight, so technically no, but it's the
We haven't
same.
slept.
Oh,
You have
okay.
not slept
Same
since.
So technically it is day
Sleep
76, I think. Okay, got it.
Keeping track of stuff.
Go fuck myself.
Yep.
Okay. He offered us a drink, but I figured maybe we'd like to get some rest.
I'd like to get a drink, but you guys are welcome to go in and get some rest. I mean, I don't know.
I'd like to get an earliest start as we can, which is already not going to be.
Yeah, but
very
don't you guys
early.
want to eat something? I mean, I'm sure they've got some food there.
I've got rations.
Alright.
I can just grab
I'm
some.
going in with you to see if they have a bath.
I want to ask about what they're doing. I mean, I feel like we should know,
Okay.
right?
Well, I just want the bath, but yeah.
Talk with some locals, find out what's happening here.
I just want the bath, but okay.
Orba wants a bath, so we're gonna get her a bath.
Sure.
Are you going to sleep?
I'm going to at least take a look at the beds.
I'll go with you.
See who else is in there
Do you want to set watches right now?
Yeah, we should choose.
first.
I'll do second.
Okay, third.
I'll take the last watch.
Oh, I was going to claim the last
Wow, what a move.
Fourth,
That was coming. I like sensed that. He was like,
fourth watch.
You can pugilism for it.
No, no, never again.
I don't have the cards. Okay, well, I see you soon. Okay. Okay, bye.
Great. So Graven and Beezaura, you head over.
Take the. She gave us the keys to the
Yeah,
chests and
yeah.
stuff.
The keys,
I'll take the Hascoop chest out of the saddlebag and bring it to
Yeah.
the
Decide if you are taking stuff out of your saddlebags.
Yeah.
What you're taking in. The chest locks.
Right.
Presumably.
What else do I have in my stupid?
As they
bags?
kind of do that, we'll follow you guys
Yeah,
in while
just
they
that.
take a look at their thing.
I guess.
So you guys move back in, and again, some of the revelry leaks through the door, but it opens up, and sound kind of pours out. And once again, you see Albarca kind of look up at companions of yours.
Yeah.
Excellent. Situated with a bed, you have a key,
Yeah, we've got our keys and beds and
Excellent.
stuff, yeah.
and just the one night still. It seemed up in debate.
Yeah, for now, yeah, we're just kind of not sure.
Not a problem.
I'll be right back. Orba's gonna leave the building. Graven, can you take my saddlebag and lock it up, please?
Okay.
The whole
Yes.
saddlebag?
Yeah, is that not possible?
It probably won't fit in the trunk, like yeah.
Never mind. Sorry, rewind. I thought it would fit in the trunk. Never mind.
Graven's got 1 foot on the edge of the okay.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. We'll do that later.
I
All
won't
right.
rifle through your bags for now.
Starts rifling.
Sorry.
So, what brings you to Nagarwas or just Navika-Pura?
Well, we're travelers, we're bounty hunters, we're looking for
Oh,
work as much as we can.
What's this mining project that's been going?
You're free to ask them more of the details.
Yeah.
I know that there's a series of tunnels that are being dug to connect the 4 townships of Navika-Pura.
Right.
Because of the ports and the Navika River, trade is very good right now. The populations are exploding. Not everybody can or wants to live in Wamparanina, which is on the coast. So cutting down on travel times between townships has been sort of a priority among the citizens. And the problem was nobody wanted to pay for it. Very costly up front. Representatives from the township argued in circles, couldn't agree on who'd put in money and who'd get money out of it. But then seemed dead in the water and the Mullafair stepped in. For a long time, Cliff Ironcloud, I don't know if you know who that is.
Heard the name.
A local advocate who sort of works on behalf of the townships. he was very resistant to cutting a deal with anyone who wasn't a northerner. But he wanted to keep things in the family until now, and something must have changed because they came to a sort of agreement.
Right.
Sorry, keep things in the family? You just mean with Navika-Purians, or?
Cliff wanted that, yes. He
Okay.
preferred to give major projects to people from here to increase wealth and prosperity.
When
within
did
the
that
region.
change?
I think they came to their agreement a couple of weeks ago, and they've been hard at work at the tunnel since then.
So the Molefairs are obviously not working on the tunnel themselves, but they contracted
No,
out
they've
the work.
upfronted the cost. The arrangement, as far as I could understand, is that the Molefairs would be allowed some use of the port that they were not allowed before, and in exchange for that, they've agreed to pay for this tunnel.
Which area of the ports? The short ports or the long ports? Do you know?
I think they're more interested in other continents. They've already got a lot of people here in Antasuyu, so I would imagine across the ocean.
Oh, so
The tall ports. is what
So
I'm
the
interested
idea. Oh, I see. Oh, so they're interested in sort of a stake in the tall ports of Navika-Pura?
in. Yes, I think so. They're calling it the Steeder Way. Do you know what that is?
No.
No.
Give me a nature check.
No.
Teeter, S-T-E-E-T-E-R.
Not T, S-T-E-E-D-E-R, Steed. Or
14.
14. So you haven't heard of the Steeder Way specifically, but Steeders are large spiders, very large spiders that move very quickly. And you know that they are sort of relatively domesticatable, that people ride them. And these Steeder Ways are used as they ride these spiders through the tunnels very, very quickly to get from place to place. They use these tunnel systems called Steeder Ways to do that.
Right. And people, when are they going to be operational? Do they have like a sort of estimate for that?
They looked pretty good, on track within a couple days until they hit a snag.
Oh wow! So they'll be completely. These things are running. These tunnels are working now.
The tunnels are dug. We just they haven't fully gotten them ready for the Steeders, as far as I can tell.
What was the snag? What happened?
He sort of gestures to the others. I'm not entirely sure. I just was told that something went amiss.
Well, I'd love an ale.
Of course.
Yeah, me too.
2 copper.
Right.
Motions. He gets you both in now.
Do you have baths?
We have the best bath in the north, the Navika River.
Where is an appropriate location to do such a thing in the Navika River?
Wherever you like.
Ha! There's no like favorite spot for people? No?
I suppose there's a less steep embankment near the
Something like that.
near the gatehouse, and he sort of describes it. I mean, you could tell what you're running to. This is the gatehouse here. I'll put the map right up for 1 second. This is the
Okay.
gatehouse.
Our soap.
Okay. Thank you.
So are the ironclads? This is getting me an ale. Can I still talk to him?
Yes, I did.
So are the ironclads in power? Is that sort of how the system of government works here?
No, I wouldn't say that Navika-Pura has as organized a government as some others. The Ironclads have a good reputation here. They've lived here for a long time, and Cliff, who right now is the leader of the Ironclads, leads a group called the Advocates. It's a group that makes sure that Navika-Pura doesn't get overrun by some of the richer communities from the south. During the war, Navika-Pura stayed out of the conflict mostly, so we try to take care of our own.
So no broken crown, your own sort of gods.
The Broken Crown is here, but they're not terribly highly thought of.
So your own sort of proprietary guards who are sort of run by.
You might find guards in Wamparani Na, maybe Naupa, but in the middle townships, not likely to see many.
So when something goes awry, who do you...
Take care of it yourself, or you get a trusted neighbor.
Right.
Where have the Molefairs sort of set up shop then, as it were?
I would guess probably in Wamparani Na, near the ports. Jungfire is an up-and-coming neighborhood there, as well as, I think the other one is, I'm looking up Fangle as well is the other larger one that's coming out from the ports.
That's where the Ironclads are based.
I'm not sure that Cliff actually has a home of his own. He travels around.
the rest of the family that he spoke of, his associates, where are the advocates run out of then?
The advocates follow him. They're always on the move.
Bit of a messiah figure, this guy sounds like.
He's very well regarded here, and I would say until he started making some deals with the Mullifers, you probably couldn't find a person to say a bad thing about him.
Have people been talking badly about him since he struck that deal? I mean, would be on brand, wouldn't it? I mean, seems like that would make sense.
He sort of gives you a non-committal shrug. It seems like he might be a little conflicted about it himself.
You know him personally?
I've seen him, never had a personal interaction with him.
You said that he was interested in keeping sort of southern money out of, northern country. Isn't he sort of northern money? Is he from money himself? His family's been wealthy and established for some time, right?
I suppose. What do you mean?
Just interesting always when a person in power wants to keep other people in power out, I suppose. I don't know.
I suppose it's true.
Feels a bit like the pot calling the kettle black, right?
Cliff's never attempted to buy up any property, if that's what you mean, as far as we know.
But didn't he just sell it off?
Cliff and his advocates try to make offers with money that they raise to keep properties from falling into the hands of Southerners. So if someone can't afford to not sell it, they try to make up the difference and make sure that that property stays in their hands.
It's nice of them. And this, Steeder way is not, destroying anyone's home, is it?
It's entirely underground. And the arrangement that they came to with the Mullifers was that one, it would be entirely funded by the Mullifers, and two, which is that nobody gets hurt from Navika-Pura in the construction of it, which means that whatever snag they hit, they're waiting for someone to come in and solve it because they can't do it themselves, because they're worried about the miners getting hurt.
Right.
These are all local miners?
Yes, all hired out of Navika-Pura.
Unrelated, is there a courier in Nagarwas?
You came to the right place. Nagarwas has the biggest courier service in Navika-Pura. It's called the Mail House, and pretty much all mail goes through there that's not going to another township in Navika-Pura. And he describes where it is to you. It's this very large building here on the north end.
It's called the Mail House?
It's a mail house, yep.
Stupid.
I'm on my way.
Cheers then. I'm gonna go have a drink.
Yeah, cheers.
He kind of goes back to seeing to the fire.
I'm gonna go sit with the miners for a little bit, try and find out what this little snag is.
Yeah, do you mind if I tag along?
Tiefling?
Yeah, I guess I'll go. I'll take a bath later.
Yes,
Doesn't sound to be exactly a bath, does
be
it?
careful there. Maybe don't go alone.
Well, I was gonna
Not
say
right
is,
now. It's also very dark outside, and I won't be able to see anything. I'm
Washed
gonna
away.
if you do want to take a bath, I'll go with you, yeah? I can turn around, close my eyes,
Oh,
but just, I don't
don't
know.
care about
Why
that,
do you
but
want to
yes,
go
okay.
so bad?
Riptides are scary.
Dorothy gets swept off the sea.
I knew there was some.
Get out of here. That's okay. I wouldn't mind hearing a little bit more from the miners, anyways.
Yeah, I think...
We do need to.
How do I have a feeling we're going to get recruited somehow to help with this.
Might not be the
Snag.
worst.
I mean,
Way to
maybe
gain
not,
favour.
I suppose. Okay.
We should be mindful of Beezaura and Graven's time too. I know they wanted to go to bed, then wake up rather early.
Yes,
That's
just quickly.
true. Yeah. Quite
Is there like
quickly.
an open spot, like where they're sitting?
There's a couple stools. There's only
Looking out.
one table in this small room, and then there's just stools kind of scattered around. So you could take a stool and kind of pull it up to the table if you wanted to.
Sure, I'll grab a
Getting
stool.
real close.
And I'll sort of
Good,
slide
good
in.
small town company. So
Yeah.
you guys head over to the table. We're gonna go over to the other sleeping house for a moment. You guys push the door open. You open the door, and the lights are off in here. You take a quick scan around the room. It looks like 2 people are asleep in 2 beds in the back, and you were told that 3 people were asleep first. So presumably 1 person is unaccounted for. But there's 5 empty beds, just as he said they were, on the right and left side.
So 2 people at the very opposite end,
Mhm.
another empty, and an R5 empty.
And
that's
yeah,
like
so there's 6 empty and 2. Yeah, and those are the only beds in the hall. There's only 8 beds.
Right.
And they're pretty packed. I mean, between me and you right now, that's about how far apart the beds are.
Yeah.
Like each bed.
looks cozy.
Yes, I wasn't thrilled about the sharing of sleeping quarters, but
I guess we'll make do.
Privacy can be overrated, I suppose. I guess let's keep it down.
I guess.
I'm gonna like fiddle and find one
The
of the
locks,
things
they're pretty old, but they seem sturdy, but it takes a second to kind of get it open. They're a little rusted.
Try to be
Is there
mindful of this.
Is there one for all of us or?
Yes.
Oh,
There's
one
one bed
for each person.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
One bed, one chest.
Yep. One really big bed.
Yeah.
We're used to it at this point.
Yeah, I'll carefully like put my bag in the.
I'll do the same.
Give me a dexterity check as you attempt to do that quietly.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
first roll.
First
baby.
terrible
Just a
roll.
straight up
Oh.
dexterity.
Straight dexterity.
Stop it. Dude, stop it.
Oh
I want to hear you say it.
I'm not sure how quiet he was able to unlock the chest.
no! I rolled a natural one.
Yes.
So Graven puts the key in and he starts to turn it, and Beezaura can hear it kind of clicking as he tries to turn the lock, and then he and it kind of ping, and the key kind of goes across the room, and you see one of the guys.
Sorry.
Is that your key?
What?
Is that your key on the floor? And he kind of reaches over the bed.
Thank you.
He goes back to sleep.
It's dark. The key is so small.
Do the rest of them.
Go, please.
I'm gonna go and put everyone's. I guess we only have Orba stuff, right? And mine.
I think you didn't even end up taking
No,
yours.
you didn't.
She
Oh, so
opted
I'll
not
just
to,
do
so you have
mine.
yours.
Am I rolling?
No, you. It's Graven's. That was rusty.
My hands are so deep. Well, do you want to stay or go meet up with the others?
They're cutting in. I'm on first watch. Cutting into my sleep already. Let's go see what they're up to.
Fine, we'll try to hurry them back.
All right.
Take stock, relock the things, head outside. So you guys pull a stool up to the table, and nobody seems to resist. They saw you hanging, over near the sort of counter anyway. So they all kind of crowded around, laughing, enjoying their company a little bit. The guy who had spilled the ale is kind of trying to dry it out in the corner. You can see him, but he's laughing. He's having a good time. Well, look who it is. Something from out of town, I see.
Yeah.
No.
Pull up a stool, come on.
Slide in closer.
So, saw you talking to Albarca. What you doing in town?
Well, we're bounty hunters passing through,
Bounty hunters passing through. So everyone who comes through says they're bounty hunters. It sounds like bullshit.
Oh, fair enough. What are you here for?
Well, we're digging. We always digging.
Oh, always digging. Sounds like bullshit.
Well, work's good right now.
Nice.
We're working for the Steederway, so you can take that bullshit and see for yourself.
I've heard it's almost done, isn't it?
It's pretty close.
So when are you guys going to be finishing it up?
Well, if we can get rid of what's going on now, probably within a couple days.
Oh, you guys run into some kind of a problem?
Yeah, well, we're officially contracted by the Advocates, but we all know that the Mullifers are footing the bill.
Right.
It's good news when you hit a snag like we did, because we're still getting paid even when we're not working, which is why we're drinking. Good deal for us.
Nice.
But we do get a completion bonus when the job's done, so I'm eager to get back to work. Tunnels are coming along good, but the Steeders, in order to keep them docile in the tunnels, you have to use diluted malice, pumping into the tunnels. That's a type of poison. Go ahead and roll nature for me as well. Any of you that are at the table there.
A nature, you said?
Yeah.
Nat 20.
8.
Tell me.
19.
So you guys have definitely been familiar with malice. It's not a terribly rare poison. It causes temporary blindness. It's not harmful, but it temporarily causes your vision to sort of cloud and obscure. so you can't really see.
Don't.
To keep them sort of
Sorry.
from accidentally attacking things.
So sad.
It's a low-grade poison that you pump in. Keeps the Steeders from getting spooked, because when you load them up with passengers, sometimes you
I
don't want
suppose
them
it would
to.
be hard to put blinders on 8 eyes.
It's a little difficult.
Right.
So the Malice is very dense, just stays on the floor of the tunnel, and the steeders' heads are real close to the ground, so they breathe in the Malice, but the people riding on top, no problem.
Right.
So these Malice tanks, somebody's been turning them off, sometimes sabotaging them, and we don't know who or what, can't seem to find out, and it's our foreman's determination that it could be dangerous if there's someone or something down there. So we shut down, gotta take a contract over to the Broken Crown. He kind of looks around to his friends and they all kind of like, you can tell that the Broken Crown has a very poor reputation among the sort of general population of Navika-Pura. So we gotta wait till they're done.
Has the contract already been brought to the Broken Crown?
Taking it in the morning.
Is the fear? Where are the Malice tanks? Are they down in the tunnels?
So the Steederway tunnels are nice and straight, and then there's these little caverns off to the side that we dig into and put the tanks in, and then we run pipes through the rock that feed it back into the tunnel. That way, if a tank, something goes wrong with the tank, don't just fill up the tunnel.
Do you know who constructed these pipes? Was it, were you sort of part of the team that constructed the pipes?
Yeah, we did that.
Oh, okay. Can you tell me, what does this sort of, like, mechanism look like? I've seen stuff like this almost before.
It's sort of a big metal tank, and it's got a wheel on the front that you turn to open it or you turn to close it.
And
then
how
there's
has
a pipe.
someone been sabotaging? How do you know?
Well, some of them have just been turned off, and nobody's fessing up to saying they're the ones who were turning it off, and I don't see a reason why they would. And second of all, some of them are getting jammed. A couple of them, something was stuck in the wheel or damaged the pipe in some way.
What's the what is the contract? What is the contract specifically for? Is it to find out who's doing it, or?
Yeah, it's to go down there, root out the problem. Could be a creature, something burrowing through the tunnels that we ain't seen. Could be a person. We need someone to go in, turn the tanks on, see if they can figure out who's been turning them off.
Well, we might be able to help you a little bit here. You seem to not want to work with the Broken Crown.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh, that thing.
Make it with advantage.
Thank God. No. It's not
No.
bad. 5.
Oh,
Yeah, right. You should have seen the first roll.
Well, I ain't saying you're wrong, but it's up to our foreman what to decide to do with the contract. He's asleep at the moment.
So your foreman, is he with the Malice in some way, or
No.
is he?
Man in Navika-Pura, I know.
Who do you report to then? If it's the Malice that are footing the bill, are you reporting directly to the advocates, or is that what they're called, the advocates?
Clifton's advocates.
Advocates, yeah.
We go to the foreman goes to the advocates have the money that they got from the Malice. That's a chain of command as far as I know.
Is your foreman sleeping here?
Yeah, just across the way.
Well, what does he look like, so I can perhaps speak to him in the morning?
He describes him to you. His name is Martin Bowley, Martom Boley, Mr. Bowley. He's a human man, 50 or so, got a gray beard, navy jacket. Usually carries around a big backpack with a bunch of tools. That's how I see him most of the time anyway.
is he staying on the house to the right as you leave here, or to the left?
Left house.
Okay.
Look, if you're interested, I'm interested in your interest. I don't want to take it to the Broken Crown, but then again, I'm not really sure who you are.
Is there a reason that you feel so... I'm not saying I like them, I'm just wondering, why is it that the Broken Crown is so reviled, as it seems his?
Yeah, both sides were trying to drag Navika-Pura into the war. Broken Crown working for the rebel side, Pachacama working for the Empire side. Navika-Pura never picked sides. But since then, Broken Crown been trying to tell us what to do. We prefer if they don't.
So what is your interest suggesting? More information on who we are?
Maybe. You say bounty hunters, you got some kind of, I don't know, proof of competency?
I mean, it's hard to produce something like that for you. What do you want me to do? Pull a head out my backpack?
Yeah, we
got one?
don't really collect referrals either.
We used to.
Ahead of referrals.
You You got any good weapons? I don't know. Show me that you look like you can handle yourself.
All right, I'll
weapons.
sort of
We could
slide
walk
back
in
a little
right
bit on
now.
the stool and stand up and pull
Yeah,
out
we're
my
ready.
nunchucks and try and do a little impressive display.
Give me a sleight of hand check.
my god.
That's what I used to do in college.
Debated.
I was in
Oh no.
21.
I
There we go.
Orland stands back, and there's not a lot of room in here.
Oh, no.
As you pick him up, you can see a couple of guys sitting near you, kind of give you some space. But you sort of very deftly kind of whirl it back and forth.
Cute.
And they kind of watch, they're impressed a little bit. You sort of stop and stay. Alright, that ain't nothing. So what, you coming to town, you just looking for any kind of something to make money?
Well, that seems like given the people involved, it seems like it could be a significant contract. And as bounty hunters, we're always looking for the biggest and, frankly, the wealthiest.
I suppose you could always wait and get the contract from the Broken Crown yourself, but probably be beneficial to both of us to do it direct. Broken Crown takes a cut of contracts, I'm sure you know that. What'd you say your name was?
Erland.
Safira.
Orba.
I'm Willie.
Willie?
Willie, would
Yeah,
you?
we'll say that as
I know, I
at
just-
this. It's okay. At this tail end part of this that
Yeah.
they're talking about is when you guys kind of open the door and come in and you see them over there at the table.
Saying my real name gets full gas.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, because you always lie.
I walk over, hey, Jamie.
Fred.
Yeah, exactly. We're so ready for you to be like, Fred. Be like, sure.
Well, look, I ain't gonna guarantee anything. I'll pass it on to the foreman that you're interested in, and I'll tell him to meet you in the morning if you haven't changed your mind. Otherwise, we'll take the contract over to the Broken Crown.
If he needs us with sleeping, I'll let him know which one which
He's
we're
probably gonna report to the Melvin Hoggs Memorial. That's where the Steederway entrance is. So you can meet him there in the morning. I'll tell you to keep your lookout for you.
What time does the foreman typically wake up?
Usually he'll head over there probably around 10.
Melvin Hoggs Memorial?
That's right. And he describes the location of it first to sort of describe where to meet them. It is this stone building.
Oh, okay.
Right here in the middle of town.
Melvin Hogg.
Yeah.
Melvin Hoggs.
Who is Melvin Hoggs?
Well, Melvin Hoggs is sort of a local hero. During the war, he'd steal things from the Broken Crown and the Empire, bring it back to Nagarwas,
That's
feed
cool.
his people.
That's
So,
lovely.
sort of a local legend. His daughter lives around here, but he's long gone.
Who's his daughter?
His daughter, he can tell you that. His daughter Llewellyn Hoggs.
Broken Crown barely have a presence in this in this city. Isn't that true?
I'm sorry, they with you?
Yeah.
Sorry, yes.
Hello.
Hello. You said?
Broken Crown, they barely have a presence in this.
They got a decent presence in Wamparani, in the coast. Not so much out here.
Right.
Okay, well, thanks for the chat.
Hey, I hope you can do service. And,
I hope so too.
If you have a vested interest in being able to move between the townships quick, then you'd be helping that out too.
Yeah.
Fair point. Well, enjoy the night. I'll sort of finish up my ale.
You too.
Yeah, I'm just listening. So.
Kind of goes back to chatting with his friends.
Found some work for us already, have you?
Well, possibly. Maybe something else, but I think we should find a private place to talk.
So maybe start heading towards the door of the...
As you do, Albarca kind of gives you a little wave, and
Good night.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Night.
you guys can step outside, close the door behind you.
So that sounded familiar, right? A little bit.
the tampering of sort of
Well,
smoky mechanisms.
Okay, so what we found out is they're building a Cedarway, right? Effectively, it's this underground sort of transportation. I don't know, you ride spiders, get places faster.
You've heard of
Sounds
Steeders before, definitely.
Ah, yes.
Right, Steve.
a bit creepy, but works. Right, so they have this mechanism in order to keep the spiders docile that they sort of gas them with Malice, right? They've got this pump familiar to us, right? We've seen pumps like this before,
I
and
don't
apparently,
think
I'm not saying.
I don't think every pump is in
No.
some way related.
Well, what I'm
to
saying
the
is,
migrant.
if you were interested in performing an experiment, right? Wouldn't that be a fantastic way to dose passengers as well? I'm saying you're putting people, just random travellers, through a gas chamber that's going to rule out which ones are the right type to do your fucking experiments on. They're trying to, not recruit. Recruit is the wrong word. They're enslaving people is what I'm thinking. I mean, I'm talking really loudly considering that we just stepped out of this.
I had the opposite thought, actually, that if this is something that's going to benefit the wealthy in Navika-Pura, the Molofers are backing this. If it's going to benefit the wealthy, perhaps it's a dissident who wants to interrupt the construction, knowing that as long as maybe they know something, maybe the Molofers are trying to transport something using these. Regardless, I think that it involves enough familiar names and is frankly a lucrative contract. Be a good place to start.
And also, I need to know why Cliff Ironcloud just recently struck a deal with the Molofers. Why? They've had a known hatred of one another for years. It goes... Cliff, his followers, I saw it in that bar, are upset that he made this deal. So there's something there. And he seems like, I mean, you never know with these kind of messiah types, right? But he ostensibly is supposed to be someone who's protecting his people. So if he believes that there's something in it for them, then maybe you're right. Maybe it's not something like this, but we have to look at those tanks, right? I mean, we don't know what else is going to be down there, and certainly we don't know what's messing with it. The guy we talked to, Willie, he seems to think that it's a creature, but it's not a creature if they're turning off a machine.
Well, regardless, I think accepting the contract, whether or not we actually wish to solve the problem, is just a great excuse to be down there and not get in trouble for it.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
I agree. So I'm going to meet with the mining foreman in the morning at 10 a.m.
Before we do, should we be worried about undercutting the Broken Crown?
No.
Not in these parts.
Just because that's who was originally going to be contracted to do this job, we shouldn't be worried about that?
I mean, politically, is that something that would offend the Broken Crown?
If
or?
they had set up an agreement, that could maybe butt some heads, but he also said they haven't brought it to them yet.
That's
The
right.
plan was to bring it to the Broken Crown in the morning. They have not yet brought the contract.
And also, Broken Crown that's almost... It's not like they're asking members of the Broken Crown to do something, it's that they're putting it out.
Yes,
through
they're going to the
Right.
Broken Crown to post a
post.
contract.
Yeah, in the same way
Because
that I
they-
used to go pick up
Yes,
things.
because they
Right.
need someone who's not from Navika-Pura to do it, because they
Right.
have that agreement that no one can get
Right.
hurt from it.
So I think that's a good place to start. I don't think the Broken Crown are going to mind. So that's why I'd like to start in the morning, whether or not anyone comes with me. Not underground, just to pick up the contract.
Just keep in mind who stands to benefit, I suppose. Because I don't want to jump to conclusions.
Deal.
Shall we get some rest?
Yes.
Yes.
Just be quiet. There's already 2 men in there, and when we were last in, one of the third occupied bed was not, but who knows now. But we've already may have woken one up by mistake.
Step lightly.
Okay.
Okay.
I guess I'm just gonna take some stuff out of my saddlebags.
Sure. We'll say the trunk has like maybe 2 large slots available.
So 6.
Is that what that is? 6?
It's 3 for
No,
a large.
6 is a large, I think, so 12.
Oh,
12
I thought 3 was a large because I have a shovel that's a 3.
I think that's a medium, isn't it?
I think 3 is medium.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. Oh, so
1
12.
Yeah.
Woo! Okay.
We use
Oh, I'm
slots
just emptying my
for
saddlebags then.
conference.
I'm just
Yeah,
gonna put all
okay.
these things in my arms.
Yeah.
So
I
how
mean,
many
if you want
slots
to.
is it?
It's
12
12 in the trunk.
Which is the same as 2 saddlebags.
Oh, okay.
because
Is that
each
the same
saddlebag
amount?
is 6.
Yeah.
We'll say the 2
Yeah.
saddlebags.
Okay.
I have
I can grab
But then
So
you
you couldn't put all your
bags.
You couldn't put all your stuff on your person and all the stuff.
Got it. Okay. I'll
Yeah,
just sleep
I'm
in
just
my
doing
bag.
bag
And
and...
we're all encumbered from the horse.
Oh my god.
That very disturbing walk that every character has in a video.
Graven's just walking behind everybody, just picking up things.
I can get everything from my saddlebags.
Great.
You didn't, but we can say that conversation happened. You did not ask him about his nephew watching the horse.
Oh yeah.
We're
You
good.
decided against it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You
You're
see
gonna
his
pay him-
nephew looking sad from the window,
He gets to
With empty pockets
Yeah.
turned out. Like,
holding his stomach.
Oh no!
Okay. Well, who's first watch?
Graven.
Okay. Good night.
Right.
well,
You creak the door open, you see the open beds, everybody kind of quietly puts their valuables in the trunk, locks them, gets into their beds, and begins to sleep. Go ahead and roll perception checks as people make their watches.
Perception check. That's another nat 20.
Wow.
Hot start.
Bam, bam, bam.
You see much.
In this room.
Yeah, in the room.
10 for me.
Dirty
Nope.
20.
Sorry. 10.
Natural 20.
Natural 20. 14.
14. Great.
So taking turns, people coming in and out. It's during Graven's first watch that it does look like the third occupant of your building. Kind of, it's one of the guys that was at the table. Kind of comes stumbling through. He kind of gives you, kind of passes his way through, and you guys, as you're in bed, kind of hear the as he kind of flops into the bed at the far end. But the watches come and go. The sun begins to rise. People passing in and out, sort of quietly pushing the door open and letting it close behind them as each person takes their turn watching the horses. And whereas sunlight coming through the window has been the most common occurrence prompting people to wake from their slumber in the past lodgings, this time it's the rustling of unfamiliar patrons, other people in the room putting on their boots. You can hear them kind of groaning, packing bags, sitting and holding their heads in the hopes that the hangovers will subside. Accustomed to the barracks-like accommodations from her time served, it's Safira who sleeps the soundest. She cracks an eye only as her nearby companions begin to stir after already having taken her watch. Besides the interior noises, a little bit of shuffling, grumbling, beds creaking as people are leaning over, getting up, pushing themselves out of bed, it's surprisingly quiet. Nothing like rising at the Lakeside Inn or the Dancing Clam, where the muffled sounds of a bustling kitchen and a city beginning its day begin to fill the atmosphere from afar. Nagarwas is no Urinchupa. It's an intimate town whose inhabitants, for the most part, know each other very well, and you imagine that word of one's reputation travels fast here, a fact that can make certain investigative efforts difficult if you ask the wrong person the wrong question, but could also be used to your advantage, as helping the right person or putting money in the right hands might open doors elsewhere. It's your first morning in Navika-Pura, and there's much to do.
Oh, Jesus.
The group rises.
Just on my watch, can I have taken a look at the page, the Marvin page?
Sure. Yes, it has not changed as far as before.
I mean, is there any way for me to sort of say that, like, I want to have the smooth stone somewhere in my bag that's, like, relatively easy to see if it glows?
Sure, we'll say, yeah. You kind of have to, like, sling it off your shoulder a little bit.
I want it still safely in there.
Yeah.
But just, like,
No,
if
I mean,
look
like,
at
if
it,
you have a knapsack that's on your back, you kind of one shoulder it so it's hanging there by
Yeah,
your
yeah.
hip. Yeah, you can see it.
This one, yeah, great.
Sure. A long rest has been taken. I think people were mostly topped off.
Sepsis down
Yeah.
to 0.
Just doing my stupid spells in a stupid way.
What time is it roughly?
We'll say, I mean, so I know you guys, you wanted to make the rendezvous with this guy at about 10, so we'll say it's like pretty close, like 9:30, because to get a full rest, you guys went to bed at past 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
So we'll give you the full rest. It's close, but you didn't have a hugely taxing day.
We'll need a ration.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we can also.
No time!
It looked like there was.
It did not look like there was food being served. As far as that doesn't mean it wasn't, but nobody was eating. People were only drinking.
Alright, ration it is. Oh dear.
7 rations.
I guess we would have eaten one
Yeah.
the night before, too.
Yes, the night before also.
So-
You ate before you went to bed.
You caught food last rations.
That's true. I just.
I foraged.
Please.
How far?
Sorry.
It's quite alright.
I forgot that.
Well, I need to make some haste to the monument.
Right. Yeah, do the.
Is anyone coming with me, or should I meet you somewhere?
I'll go with you.
I have a stop I'd like to make.
So are we splitting up then?
Yeah, we should have a plan for meeting back.
You're just collecting the contract and then.
I wasn't sure yet. I was going to see what we were going to do as a group.
I'm heading west.
Well,
Right away.
Yep.
Well, you're not gonna go alone.
I'm just going to talk to somebody.
Okay, but she's not gonna go alone.
Can you wait until this evening to leave?
Why?
So that you don't go alone.
Okay, how about this? We send him on his own. Are you gonna be alright on your own?
yes, I'll be fine.
Okay, fine.
Well, I'm not able to go by
Because
myself.
I feel like whatever you're doing
He's just
is
going
on a
around the
different
corner.
level. He's going around the corner to get a contract.
I can meet. Where should I meet everyone? And when?
Well, do we think we need one night of not being together?
Why?
Like rendezvous tomorrow night? It's just a long way. You have to go all the way east and we have to go all the way west. That's all I'm asking. I'm trying to be considerate of everybody's time.
I suppose I need to head to the coast as well at some point. Who else is heading to the coast?
I need to go to the coast.
Coast.
we all
Coast.
need to go to.
I can wait.
No, you can't. I understand. It's okay.
Just to clarify in terms of the contract itself, like if you guys start heading west, I mean that would take Erland hours to catch up with you to discuss the contract.
Right.
See what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Okay, yeah, just so
But I
that's
can
clear.
take the contract and accept it, and
You don't know that for sure. It's not like
There were-
this
yeah, there-
isn't an official broken ground contract. This is like a shaking
yeah, I
hands
guess,
deal.
yeah.
I mean,
Well, okay, if the contract
and I
is
guess you
time
didn't ask him how urgent it was necessarily. Yeah.
if the contract is time sensitive, maybe I can go west and make it back here in time to do that. Where's the entrance again?
In the Melvin Hogs Memorial, which is right in the center of town.
Oh, okay, got it.
oh, that's the entrance to the.
That's
the
also
speed-
the
to the
entrance
speed.
to it.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Why don't I get the contract? Come back in. It's right there. I'll be back in 30 minutes. Let's maybe not go anywhere and then figure out what we're going to do from there.
I think the main point of this is that Orba does not want to stay here any longer than she has to. You want to leave immediately for the east, yes?
For west. Yes.
So then, what I'm saying is let me get the contract, see if it's time sensitive, and then we can make a decision then whether perhaps we three simply go down there and then head to the coast and Safira accompanies Orba.
Okay.
Will you just come with me for now?
To where?
You remember Michael Ainsley?
Yes.
His father is here, I believe.
In Nagarwas? Okay. Okay. I can do that.
Just for the afternoon.
He's truthfully someone that I might be interested in speaking to as well.
Oh my goodness.
But
Can I have 5 minutes?
yes, you can. Yes. Whatever. So
when
where?
does become the Bachelor?
Just where and when should I meet?
Centrally, the Hog's place.
And how long?
In a few hours.
All right. In 3 hours, we'll meet you back here. Back at the Hogs Memorial.
Is everyone okay with that plan?
Okay.
Okay. So you're going to Michael Ainsley's father's house and we're going to get the contract and Beezaura.
You're welcome to come with
I'll
us.
go with them.
All right.
So you step outside. You take in the small town air here in Nagarwas. And in the daytime, with the shadows a little less ominous, the streets a little less empty, the main road through town is quite pretty to look at, better integrated into its natural surroundings than the cities of the south, and an ever-present background, sort of flush, flowing with the Navika River, the trees in the background. And from where you stand, the two buildings that stand out the most among the scattered houses are once again the stone structure to the north that's been described to you as the Melvin Hogs Memorial. And then a little bit to the northwest, it looks to provide access across the river traveling to and from Nakuzi, the next township over. It's kind of a gatehouse there that we showed you guys as well, this one here. And as Erland and Safira step towards the memorial building, you admire the condition of the stone exterior, no creeping vines or buildup of blemishes along the foundation. It's clear that the citizens of Nagarwas hold the memory of this Melvin Hogs in very high regard, keeping his namesake building in pristine condition. A wide set of double doors at the front is propped open, giving you a small window to peek inside where a pair of laborers are vigorously scrubbing the floors of the cavernous interior. The evident importance of this building highlights one other aspect of Nagarwas, and perhaps Navika-Pura by extension, that you've briefly heard about that didn't cross your mind as you were entering. There are no guards stationed at the door. In fact, you haven't seen a single person at all that has any kind of appearance of an organized town watch or a militia or anything of that kind. So you start to approach the building. And as you step inside, the echoing of your footsteps starts immediately. You sort of get from the stone steps to the interior and immediately kind of click that rings out, your boots on the tile. And other than a statue in the center, which you'd hazard a guess is a likeness of Mr. Melvin Hoggs, the room is entirely void of furniture. There's a staircase on your right that leads both up and down, presumably to the second floor and some kind of cellar. But on the opposite side of the room, there's another set of stairs that looks like a much newer addition, temporary wooden beams and a makeshift railings that seem to be part of an ongoing project. And standing beside this opening is a human man in his 50s, graying beard, navy-colored jacket, a large knapsack slung over his shoulder. And he straightens a little bit as he sees you come in, sort of seeing people he doesn't recognize. You know that he's been told potentially to meet someone, so he doesn't know it's you, but he kind of gives you a little...
We'll give him a little...
And he gives you a nod.
Flap.
He sort of motions over to you. You guys make your way over. And as you pass by, you sort of pass by the statue in the center of the room. Elven man. He has sort of an enormous cloak that kind of swallows him up. The craftsmanship of the stone is very good, the sort of folds and the carving. And he has an intricate mask covering the top half of his face, almost sort of a little clandestine figure. And there's a phrase carved at the base. Give more than you take, and take from those who refuse to give. It's sort of carved into the base of Mr. Melvin.
Oh, Safira.
Yeah.
Oh god.
So Robin Hood, yeah. Safira's like,
Login hood.
Ice cream? Sound like
Oh,
Argos.
hood. Oh.
Guys,
Hood.
Get on my level.
No.
We're layers deep into that.
Yep.
Pun.
do you want 2 layers?
My name is Mr. Bowley. Are you here about the job?
Yes.
we are, yeah.
Erland and Safira.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear it. Thank you for helping us out, potentially. The less money in the pockets of the Broken Crown, the better. I'm sure that's not the first time you'll hear that.
No. Second time, actually, so far.
You feel the same way?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, here's what it is. There's 5 tanks of Malice on the stretch of Steeder Way in question. This is the stretch from Nagarwas to Wamparani. We had to replace one of them just a couple days ago, but they should right now all be in working condition. In a perfect scenario, you would open all 5 of the valves, and then wait a while, and see if they turn off, or if anything shows up, or anything. We really don't know what we're looking at the moment. My men said that they heard some noises, inconclusive, whispers, things scattering across the ground, but it's tunnels. You hear things sometimes.
Whispers, anything legible?
Not that I heard.
Okay.
There was one of my men that we sent home. He probably wasn't there drinking with the men last night. He reported to me that he felt a sudden compulsion to turn off one of the valves. But then the feeling went away and he returned to his work. I don't know what it means. Maybe you have some theories.
Where's this man? Where can we speak to him?
He's on his way to, or he was on his way last night to Nakuzi, so he's at least a township over at the moment.
Any other men reporting strange symptoms?
Not like that. Like I said, hearing noises, nothing other than that.
Okay.
And how long of on foot? How long would it be between where we are now and Wamparani now?
Time-wise?
Time-wise.
Maybe 2 hours?
So
But this stretch of Steeder Way is right under here. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. So just you're saying there's 5 tanks in between. How long would it take us to see?
there's 5 tanks just in this stretch I'm talking about. Between here and Wamparani now, there must be 200.
Oh,
maybe.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood. So the stretch is immediately below us.
Yes.
I see.
If you get to the 5th tank, you're barely outside of Nagarwas.
I see.
It's probably a stretch of 300 feet to not very far. It requires quite a bit of malice to make sure that the creatures don't spook.
Right. Right.
So I was expecting a much longer.
And who do you have in charge of the Malice itself? Where are you getting your supply?
We get that from the advocates. They're supplied for us.
And why is it these 5? Is it just these 5 tanks in particular that keep being?
These are the 5 that we've identified as turning off when supposedly they were supposed to be on. Now, my workers are good men, but they play pranks. Sometimes I wrote it off as someone trying to make another one's life more difficult, saying he did it when he was supposed to be on watch, whatever. But it seemed to be happening more frequently than one would expect, and we began to think that there might be something in the tunnels.
When you say something, what do you mean by something? Do you guys have any theories?
The Steederway's a long stretch. We walked through it. We're out of that stretch for a while. Someone could have walked down and gone into the tunnels, I suppose. A person, or it could have been something else.
Does it seem to me like he's withholding information from us when he says it?
Make an insight check. And be a little more specific. Withholding,
like that he does know more about why perhaps these are being.
That why the valves are being turned off.
Yeah. 17.
He seems pretty forthright, and he seems a little frustrated. It's obvious to you that initially he felt that this was nothing, and that he wanted to get the job done, and that maybe the workers were like pretending things were broken so they could fuck off and have a drink or something, and that now he's sort of trying to deal with this problem so he can get back to work. But
One of your workers mentioned that there is a completion bonus in it for them, right?
that's right, yes, for all of us.
So wouldn't it sort of be antithetical to what they want to turn off these machines?
One would think, although they are paying for the time off, so theoretically you could get a little extra money taking the time off and then also collect the completion bonus at the end.
And the Steeders themselves, if we were to want to, say, use one to expedite our trip, would that be possible?
For this, well, the Steederway is not operational yet because it's not been cleared.
Yes, are we gonna encounter any Steeders down there?
They're not in this stretch of tunnel.
Who is it that is sort of officially was going to put out this contract? Was it you? Or?
Yes, I was supposed to take it and still need to take it to the Broken Crown if you're not prepared to do it soon, now.
Yes, I think that we definitely are interested in it. Who do you report to specifically as the foreman?
Report to of the advocates?
Do you report to the advocates then?
Yes, I do.
All right. You don't report to any of the Molifiers sort of funding it?
I do not.
And there's no way we could have a chat to the engineers, right? Who sort of...
Replace the tanks?
Yeah.
Replace the tanks.
No, but you buy the Malice from the advocates, right? They provide that directly to you?
I could introduce you to the advocates that we correspond with, yes.
Might be
That's
useful.
something.
I think so, yes.
That's all contingent on solving our problem, I would have you know.
Right, we are going to have to talk to our companions, but this is very interesting to us.
No, we're going to take the contract right now, and I'm going to go collect some things, and we'll get on it as soon as possible.
All right. It's 250 upon completion.
Excellent.
All right. I'm going to wait here. So please come back quickly, because if not, I'm going to take it directly to the Broken Crown.
Do I have an hour to collect supplies based on what you've told us?
I can give you an hour.
Great. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Just get ready.
He sort of goes back. He seems like... one more thing. Assuming you are taking the contract, you're coming back in an hour, I will have the main channel lamps lit for you so that you can see in the main tunnel. When you go into the caverns off of the main tunnel that have the Malice tanks in them, those will not be lit. They will be dark. Just so you know.
Okay.
And he steps back down into the little tunnel there.
I'd like to exit the building first.
So are you following him?
Yes, same.
Across the marble floor?
Is there anyone sort of outside?
I mean, you can
Like
find
just a
spot
random,
to- you're just looking
like
for
a random person.
Yeah, there are some people milling about through town. Just a couple random people.
Okay. Do you mind if I stop someone?
Sure, go ahead.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm looking for an Ainsley. Do you know where he is?
Mr. Donovan Ainsley?
Yes. Do you know where his?
Yeah,
where he
and
lives?
he points. Lives right in the gatehouse.
Oh, all right, great. Thank you.
Good luck to you.
Why? Good luck.
nobody goes to Mr. Ainsley unless they need a healer, so I assumed you needed a healer.
Oh, that's surprisingly courteous of you. Thank you.
So nice.
We should catch up with the rest of the group and take this contract.
They're not going to be happy with having to do it right now.
Let me talk to them.
Okay.
Can't wait.
Rolling.
So as this was going on,
And we're gonna head
head in that direction. As this was going on, we'll sort of rewind in time a little bit. So they walked off towards the Melvin Hogs Memorial and left the three of you.
I suppose we need to ask Albarca. I don't know exactly where Donovan is, so I'm just going to ask Albarca.
Sure.
You go inside.
Head into the building. It's empty now in this sort of morning hour. Again, it doesn't seem, from what you can tell, like it serves food, so no one's in here to like have a breakfast in the morning. It seems like he's sort of cleaning. He's cleaning the place up a little bit from a rowdy night last night, pushing in some of the chairs, returning a few of the stools to their place. Oh, good morning.
Morning. A couple of questions for you. Somewhere, any shops in the area? I need to buy more rations and some supplies and things.
Yes. What are you looking for specifically?
Rations, possibly equipment. weapons.
One of the larger general stores in Navika-Pura is called Kiana's Collateral. It's more of a sort of pawn shop, exchange shop, but he should have a lot of what you need.
Is there any blacksmith in this area?
You'd have to go over to Nakusi.
Right. And the healer, Donovan Ainsley.
Yes.
Where does he reside?
He lives in the gatehouse. It's right outside the door. You shouldn't miss it.
Thank you.
Yes.
Does it seem far?
No. It's right over there.
Great. Do you want to make the way?
Yes.
And you're following.
Yeah.
Keep
Sorry,
looking back
were
and
you about to say
checking
something?
Yeah. I'm taking my bag back out of the truck,
Yeah.
but left the Hasku.
Okay.
Yeah, I have my bag, but the saddlebag stuff.
Great. So you head to the northwest. Gatehouse has a kind of quaint, weathered appearance. It looks like it hasn't been put to its initially intended purpose in many years. With the portcullis up, the drawbridge down, and not a sentry in sight, the intimidation factor normally present in such a structure is lost. An image softened further by the ample bouquets of flowers laid upon the front stoop of an iron-banded door that leads to the interior portion of the gatehouse. The closer you get, the louder the sound of rushing water grows, drowning out the noise of the town and making you feel both very isolated and very insulated as you glance on the writing on the door. D. Ainsley. And a small painted piece of wood hanging on a nail just below the name. Currently in.
Question for you, man, real quick. Would I recognize the symbol of Grom the Gale if I saw it?
No.
Great. I may offer the Hasku to him if it's something that he might be able to utilize in his healing. Are you okay with that?
I'm fine with it.
Okay. We
Did
don't
you
have
miss-
private living quarters anyways. I'm not gonna get high on Hasku when we're sharing a space with a bunch of other strangers.
I suppose not.
What if it was private?
Maybe.
Do you mind giving me a few minutes inside alone?
Go ahead.
Just-
I'm gonna take a bath.
Oh. Where?
They said the water was pretty good.
You could look down and
Yeah.
see the river. You're right at the edge of the bridge there.
Just
All right.
yell if you need us, I guess.
You know the alarm. Or I know
I
it.
do.
Let's say.
I do.
Good.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay.
The two of them
Yeah.
backed off a little bit.
Oh.
You go inside.
Why am I letting you
Go
do
to-
this?
No.
Or yeah, it's locked.
That was weird.
That was
Yeah.
Sorry.
There was
Crushed
a
that
little.
time.
I ruined the moment, but I was like,
And you wait for a moment. And you hear the sound of the door unlock. And that's where we're going to take our break.
Okay, oh, that's fine. That's fine.
Classic.
It's fine if you want to do that.
What?
We're going to take a quick break right there, and we're going to come
Balls.
back, see what's in store at the gatehouse. and then see maybe what's in store for Erland, possibly convincing the party to do this thing.
Yeah, why?
Money. Wait, you guys. Money.
Wait, you guys
Have you thought
guys?
about money?
Money.
Oh,
Okay.
Come on.
Before we go to break, Night Munch did subscribe, and then I believe we got a new subscriber. This was a new name to me, Leo J77. So thank you very much.
Thank
for
you.
your
Welcome.
subscription. It's
Enjoy
very
the
much
story.
appreciated.
We'll be taking. It's a 20-minute break. Right?
It is a 20-minute
break. we changed it a little while back. We'll be back in 20 minutes. We'll pick it up from there. Thank you guys. We'll see you on the other side.
Woo! Oh my god.
Chapter 69, a chapter that was filmed 5 months ago, and if you haven't already seen it, where have you been? But also I understand that times are hard, and that others that have seen it might appreciate a brief refresher, so here it goes.
What level are we right now?
I'm a 4.
Our friends taste-tested fancy healing potions.
This one, similarly, very floral, like you're running through a field of wildflowers with a new lover for the first time. The moment immediately before a first kiss, perhaps.
Our friends lied to the Broken Crown and harbored a fugitive for gold.
400 gold if you don't tell him where I am. And he goes over to the brook over to the right, and you see him take a potion off his belt, pop it, and you recognize that you can see the bubbling liquid. It looks like a potion of water breathing. He downs the potion and then sort of falls into the river, and he pushes himself down below the water. You there! We ride in search of an elven man, grey hair. We were close on his trail. Did you see such a man pass through?
There was somebody sprinting towards us on this path, yes.
Can you tell us which way he headed?
It was hard to tell in the dark, but I believe he split off from the path in that direction.
Which way do you point?
The opposite way.
The opposite way they went.
Yeah.
And our friends accidentally got high.
Anybody recognize these?
Yeah, I do. You're gonna want to be careful with these. If you breathe them in, you're gonna hallucinate.
I'm gonna drop it.
Oh, well, don't
I need you to make a constitution saving throw.
drop it! Drop it!
Just close it.
Idiot!
You're holding the
Why
chest.
would you drop it?
Just
Safira's like,
close
why
the
would
lid.
you do that? Just close it!
It has a
You
lid on it.
Stupid idiot!
Put the
Oh,
lid
for
down.
fuck's sake! Oh, I just rolled a 2!
Graven sees the face of Holland. Erland sees the face of Blamatula. And Safira sees the face of Beezaura.
But when the horizon revealed the city of Navika-Pura, our friends hit a crossroad.
Well, Orba. Where do you need to be in Navika-Pura?
West. I know I have to be west.
So do I.
Yeah?
Wait, no.
Ooh, you psyched her out real good.
No, I need to be east, right? The coastal is east.
Yeah.
I need to go east.
You just said west.
I know. I was confused.
Well, we're gonna have to get to both places, aren't we?
Right, but it's almost a day's travel to get from one to the other.
I also need to go east.
We might have to split up.
Will the journey have been worth it? Will Navika-Pura live up to our friends' highest hopes? Will individual missions take priority over newfound friendships? If you're watching this, you're finding out right now on Tabletop Notch.
Welcome
I
back,
did.
everybody. Welcome back to Tabletop Notch, Chapter 70. We're in Navika-Pura, and we find ourselves, and I'll open up the map one more time. We find ourselves here on the edge of the river at the gatehouse between Nagarwas and Kuzi. Graven has just knocked on the door to the gatehouse. Sign on the gatehouse door, D. Ainsley, currently in. And you hear a little bit of the noise, the sound of an unlock on the other side. And the door opens up. And a man in an accented brown robe answers the door. Mid to late 20s, with shaggy black hair that flares out atop his ears. It looks functional, but his right eye is only able to open part of the way. There's a sizable gash running from close to the bridge of his nose to the back of his right jaw, which evidently also makes it difficult to shave that area as tufts of facial hair are kind of thicker around the wound. In the crevice of the gash, you see what looks like plant matter built up and sticking slightly out, almost like little green-blue clovers growing from the area. Although as it's matted down, it's hard to tell if it's actually growing from there or if he's used some kind of natural home remedy balm of some kind to fill in the cracks as a kind of ointment of some kind. It's kind of mushed into the gash there. The gash on his face is the most prominent, but a quick scan reveals that there's definitely more. You can see one peeking up from just below his neckline and another one down by his left wrist. Kind of that same kind of leafy, clovery gunk kind of in the crevice of the veins. Here for Mr. Ainsley? Or looking to buy?
I would like to have an audience with Mr. Ainsley if I could.
He's upstairs at the moment. Is it important?
How? It would only be a few minutes of his time.
With no intention to be rude, it's either important or it's not. And there will never be a time to concern Mr. Ainsley with something unimportant.
It is important. Thank you.
He doesn't kind of fight you. And he opens the door a little further. He leads you into a rather unassuming little shop, nestled between the other living amenities. A kitchen to your left with an oven built into the wall, a fireplace on your right with a couple upholstered chairs and nearby bookshelf. And the only part of the room that has a sort of commercial or transactional appearance is a long island countertop, kind of directly opposite from where you're standing. And there's a glass display case behind it that contains 4 beautiful ornate staves of varying design, sort of very intricately carved out of different materials, sort of inlaid with pieces of glass and things. And he sort of allows you into the room. He takes a few steps toward kind of a staircase near the back. And he gets to the edge of the staircase and he turns back around. Come on then. You said it was important. You follow up the stairs. And the sound of the stairs kind of echoes out around you. And it gets quiet as you get to the top of the second floor. And you wait. And you see the young man kind of move. You get up to this kind of landing on the second floor, and there's 2 doors. There's one right at the sort of right as you get to the top, and then a little hallway just like 15 feet and another door down. But he goes to the door right at the top of the stairs. He knocks on the door. Be patient. He moves rather slow. And you sort of wait there with him for a moment at the foot of the door. And you hear the sound of quiet footsteps. And there's a pause. And then more footsteps. Seems like he's sort of stopping almost to rest between every few footsteps. And despite the gatehouse not being terribly large, even at its longest dimensions, this happens a couple times. And the boy waits, unbothered, unfazed. Doesn't seem to be unusual at all to him that it takes this long for the door to be answered. And finally the door cracks. And kind of a withered hand wraps around the edge. And it pulls it open. Now, Michael was hardly a child. But the elven man that stands before you could easily be his grandfather, or even great-grandfather. The wrinkles of his skin look like a dry desert riverbed, and the few remaining wispy strands of gray hair that he has start so far back on his scalp it almost looks like they're floating in the air behind him. His dark green toga-style body wrap is draped loosely around him, and he does utilize a walking stick of his own, though it's far more mundane, simple, not like the merchandise downstairs that you saw in the glass display case. He kind of looks back into his room for a moment, and then looks to you. The breeze coming through my window is quite cool. Would you mind if we sat by the fireplace downstairs?
That's fine.
You may stay here. And the boy kind of nods, and he goes down to the room at the end of the hall, opens the door, and closes it behind him, leaving just the two of you. And he starts to descend the stairs. One step at a time. Slowly all the way down.
Can slowly follow him, giving him plenty of
Another
space.
step. He gets all the way to the bottom, and he sort of very slowly, deliberately makes his way over to the fireplace. There's a few logs kind of already in there, and he kneels, and it looks like this takes significant effort. He sort of lowers himself down using the staff, puts it on the floor, and there's sort of a piece of tinder by the fire that he kind of starts to work on the fire.
Does it look like he's succeeding?
I mean, it's making sparks.
Oh.
He's just trying to get it kind of it has him sort of lit all the way up.
You can talk while I do this.
I suppose I should just be frank. I met Michael Ainsley in Oranchupa.
He kind of stops. He sits up and he looks at you.
How is my son?
He was well. I left him well.
And finally, he kind of gets one of the sort of pieces of kindling to ignite a little bit and start to crackle.
We did not spend a lot of time together, but we did end up sharing certain things with each other that strangers might not. Namely, the nature of your worship.
I am a cleric of Grom Legale. It is known, not a secret.
Right. Are there others?
Of Grom Legale?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you have much parlay with them?
We get together every year for a reunion. No.
It's like,
I was like,
oh,
that's bold.
Is there no way that you could, if you wanted to?
I have met two of them. I could communicate with them if I wished to.
I thought as much. Do you not communicate with Michael regularly?
Michael's path was not chosen for him as mine was. Do you have children? We get along better from a distance than we ever did together.
He was kind to me and very helpful.
He is kind and helpful.
If you did for some reason want to reach the others in your worship, is there some way? I suppose you would just send a message to them, wouldn't you?
Are you looking for a referral?
Have you ever had someone join your worship?
Yes, there are many who worship around the Gale. but he chooses his clerics. Feeling lonely, spiritually.
Perhaps.
So what do you want from me?
Have you been satisfied by your relationship?
I believe that my God is good. I know it deeply and truly. That is as much satisfaction as one can expect.
Something else. I have what used to be a cursed ring that was wondering if you could point me in the direction of someone who may be able to either find its magical properties or see if it needs to be destroyed or something of the like.
You came here to me to ask me that.
You were the only name I knew coming into this town, into this district.
Celis could probably do it, though you're unlikely to get him to take the time for such a mundane task. Palomar Franco is a tinkerer who lives in Wampiranina. You could try him.
I'm gonna reach in and pull out the chain with both on it and show him the ring. Have you seen anything like this before? And immediately put it away.
Yes.
Palmer or Celis, thank you.
You're welcome. If you see Michael, tell him I said hello.
He starts to get up. Pushes himself up. Starts to walk back towards the stairs.
A god will sometimes ask something of you that you are not ready to answer. Or ask something of you that you're not ready to give. And the question becomes, is the bond of trust between you strong enough to survive the aftermath of the moments when they reach through you to do something that you would not on your own? When you speak of satisfaction, these are the things you must think of. Can you accept that a god may do things that you do not want? And is that a relationship that you can live with?
What if there were no trust at all?
I would look for a different rung, I suppose. Picture a ladder that goes all the way from the ground to the stars. On the lowest rungs, you see the struggles of the smallest villages. And the higher up you go, the more you see, but in less detail. Now you cannot see the individual villager's plight, but you see what is good for the town, and then the city, and then the country, and then the world. It's of the utmost importance that a cleric and his god see things from the same rung. If one believes they see the greater good, but you are unwilling to sacrifice at a lower level, you will never see eye to eye. There are gods for every rung. Some deal with things on a much smaller scale, the good and the bad of the everyday. Some of them do what is best for the world.
And if you cannot find yourself on the same rung?
As I said, time to find someone on a different rung.
It cannot be that easy.
It depends on who you're sharing a rung with, I suppose. Some would rather kick you off the ladder than watch you climb down.
I thought I was the only one.
Disappointed?
No. But it could be dangerous. How can I find someone?
You wish to find the other one.
Who might be willing to go to that rung?
And if you're wrong,
I don't know.
I don't know you. I care deeply for the people of Navika-Pura. This is my home. I have no more advice for you until I know who you are. Do you understand me?
Thank you for your time.
Good luck, Graven of Kalusny.
Starts to make his way up the stairs. He leaves you alone in the sort of base of this shop.
I'm just gonna... There's still a fire going from where you started.
Yeah, a little firecracker.
Just gonna kind of stare into it for a while. Take a few deep breaths. Turn and leave.
Outside, during this time, Beezaura and Orba kind of had a moment to...
Exactly that.
Splashed in each
They're
other.
kind of waiting in the time. Was there anything you wanted to address before Erland's Safira? During this time that Graven is in, Erland's Safira will by now come and join.
No, I think Orba's just gonna pay particular attention to like getting nice and clean, like getting her boots nice and clean. She's gonna try
Watch
to.
Orba sort of meticulously scrub.
I'm just
down
like
all over. One dunk and
Yeah.
she's done.
I'm good.
No, like fingernails, like she wants to like nice.
So you guys walk over to the gatehouse, sort of expecting maybe to go into the gatehouse before you see anybody, but you see sort of standing down by the river, the bank there, Beezaura.
The Goliath's inside then?
Yes, he just asked for some privacy.
I'm assuming you're going to want to go in and invade that.
No, it's...
What exactly do you want with this guy?
I don't know.
Right. Okay.
Well, I need... I was going to wait till the Goliath comes. I need new field work, as I mentioned to all of you, and Ainsley is a rather prominent figure, so I thought he might be a place to start.
So let me guess, you're going to want to go in there alone so you can ask for some field work
No,
opportunities?
actually, I'm hoping that the contract that I don't have in my hand.
You're right.
This,
Here it is.
Perhaps I should wait till the Goliath comes out before I talk about the...
Okay.
No, do you know his name at this point in our trekking together?
Yes, I know his name.
Okay, you could use it.
All right. Are we done?
Yes, and I'm standing waiting for Graven.
Everybody kind of wait a little bit apart from each other, giving each other a little bit of space.
I'm like,
And Graven sort of slowly opens the door.
how'd it go?
Uneventful. In the good way.
Okay.
Did you get information you needed?
Not really.
I'm sorry.
It's alright.
Okay, so we've got some good news and bad news. Good news, contract, we have it. Bad news, they want us to do it right
That's
now.
classy.
Right now, actually.
Yes.
Quite time sensitive.
How long has it been, roughly? Like...
Oh, I mean, you guys just walked
yeah.
over.
Oh, okay, cool.
10 minutes. Yeah.
I bought a little time. It seems, honestly, like it should be no more than a few hours, maybe a fight. Here's...
You hate fighting now.
No, I
mean,
have a
hopefully
certain
not a
path I'd
fight.
like to follow.
So, just to be clear, the whole situation, what we know is that we've had one guy apparently had some, he seemed to feel some kind of compulsion, I suppose, to turn off the valves.
Some temporary...
Basically, there are 5 valves that we've got to go inspect where this Malice gas comes out. And he wants us to go and see, basically, that they're all working. And see if we can't figure out what's turning them off. This one guy did admit to having an impulse to turn it off, so obviously what I'm worried
controlled by
about...
magic or something.
Exactly.
Do you know where he is?
He's unfortunately a township away already.
Of course we can't interview him, so...
It's... All we have to do is turn on the 5 mechanisms and see if we can find anything. It's 250 gold, and also... This is the favor I'm asking in this town, is I need to gain access to some sort of prominent family if I'm to stay with you further.
Do you think you're going to do that with Ironclads, supposedly? I mean, you could actually
Ironclads
really take
and
this.
Molifiers are both involved with this. I think completing some sort of task for them would perhaps grant me an audience with someone who could perhaps give me something bigger.
Yeah, as much
They're
as
not going to let a random bounty hunter approach the Molifiers or the Ironclads.
And as much as I hate to give him the satisfaction, I think he's right.
Is this something we need all 5 of us for, do you think?
Given, I think that's probably safest since we don't know what's down there. And it's not a very long mission.
Orba.
Are you okay with going?
I would like to point out, and correct me if Orba might not know this, other things besides people can do that kind of thing.
What do you mean?
Can manipulate thought, persuade.
Yeah. I mean, they said that they didn't know if it was a person or a
Right.
creature or something.
It could... look, all I'm saying is that it seems like something or someone is controlling people down there, perhaps toying with this. I mean, look, it wouldn't surprise me, as we were saying all together, if this goes... if this is somehow related to... We're in relative private. Yeah.
The river noises are pretty loud.
Yeah, this wasn't somehow related to everything that we've seen from the Molifiers and their interest in expansion northwards. I honestly don't care about that right now. I just want an audience with a damn wealthy family.
Of course, yeah, I care. For the record, I care what's going on. But you can, get your audience with a wealthy family.
If you'd like my services for...
Yes, we'd like your services, Erland. Yes, we all are very grateful for your services. Thank you.
Orba.
Yes.
You'd like to reach the west by tonight.
Yes.
It's still early.
Will you take one of us with you?
Okay. But we clearly can't go now because that would leave only 3 people to do this mission that everybody wants to do. So may I go and fetch some things and prepare for what might be a pretty challenging encounter?
Yes, he gave 45 minutes probably now.
Okay.
Hopefully not challenging, but yeah.
Can we meet at the memorial?
If you'd like to come with, I was actually going to use the urn for the first time in case we do encounter something. I would like us to
That's not a
good.
bad idea.
use the urn.
But
Okay.
Okay.
Do we use that? Can you remind me what the?
Yeah.
Yes,
So
please do.
this is my new thing that was very expensive. The incense in this urn take 1 minute to light with a tinderbox. Any creature that stays within 5 feet of the urn and breathes the vapors for 1 minute inflicts maximum damage on their next successful attack roll. However, those benefits wear off after an hour or 3 unsuccessful attacks, whichever comes first.
Okay.
Should we perhaps use this urn at the memorial to be as efficient with time as possible?
Are there people at this memorial? Like, is it the heavy traffic area? I
No,
don't
we can
want
go-
people
like,
just seeing us whiff this weird urn.
We can go down.
These people came to the memorial and
Start smoking this weird stuff.
Or
Sniffing this
We
thing.
can go down into the tunnels and
okay,
inhale
wait a minute, it takes
Would
2
you like
minutes.
to
Tunnels.
perhaps leave the urn outside of the tunnels and in a locked box? I think that it's not going to take very long to get there. We could, right before we leave, use it.
It's
Lock it away.
the amount of tunnel we need to investigate is quite short.
So all the more reason to
Oh,
leave
yeah.
the urn behind, I think.
All right.
Okay. Well, let's hope that our shared living quarters are empty, or unless, I don't know, maybe the
Yes,
miners want the
we're-
good hit.
Praying with some incense.
Okay.
I still have a whistle with me. Do you think just bring it just in case?
I absolutely think we should bring it. Yeah.
I always
Just
thought
wanted to
one-
check, guys. All right, I'm conferring with the roof.
Okay, let's go. Head toward the
You guys head back
barracks.
toward the sort of living space. By the time you get back there, it seems like the 3 other people have gone to work, gone somewhere. You have the room to yourself.
Not to work. Not to work, because there
Or
is no work.
you don't know if those were all miners.
Right.
They're drinking.
Like
Alright, so Orba's gonna get that ready and light it up, and I guess also just make sure she has everything that was currently...
Is there anything you want to do in that? So you have 45 minutes or whatever. Not that you have to wait that whole time till you're going. Was there anything you wanted to do during that time? That's what I'm saying.
No, I was lying to him by getting supplies.
Yes, no, I know that. I mean, you theoretically have 30 minutes to do whatever you'd like before you have to go. Is what I'm
I'm
saying.
gonna
anything.
talk to Graven.
Sure.
Sorry. Now that you saw Mr. Ainsley, where do you think you're headed next?
The coast.
You're not going to go with Orba.
I suppose we could stay all together. I need to get to the coast, though.
I as well would like to get there. I was hoping to just head there, but maybe Safira will go with her.
Depending on what influential families Erland thinks he's going to find, they're either going to be in the coastal town or the westernmost, I believe. So
Okay.
he can decide whether he wants to go with them or come with us.
All right. Just wanted to make sure we were headed in the same way.
Yeah.
One more time as people are getting their things together. Anything else before?
Is there space under the bed?
A little bit.
How
what?
tall is my bamboo plant?
Not very. Like a foot and a half.
Could I just hide him under there?
Yeah, you might have to kind of turn it on its side a little bit.
Yeah, just turn him on its side. Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna light this sucker up.
Okay. All the sort of motions around.
Light it up.
We have do we have healing potions? Everybody has those out of their
I
saddlebags.
have 2 healing potions and 1 greater healing potion with me.
We have 2.
Okay, I'm taking one of the pestifers with me.
I hope we won't have to use that.
Healing potion number 5. Forget what that tastes like.
Oh yeah, I have new lover.
Oh.
Nice.
Nice.
Alright. Okay. Well, let's go. Let's get this over with.
Do we ever find out if his fancy potions do anything other than taste different?
They
They
said that
don't.
they don't.
He
They
said
didn't even
they
claim
don't.
to say that
Yeah.
they just.
They just cost 10 gold more.
Just don't taste right.
Yeah, normal healing potions taste a little metallic. They're kind of
Yeah.
nasty. It's like medicine, whereas like his tastes good.
His
Like
tastes
when you
like-
said you had a number 5.
Yeah.
That's a
Yes.
peach nectarine
Yes.
healing potion.
I have 2 and 4.
How seasonal.
I think
You
one's
have a-
coffee and one's the chai, like
no,
protein
you had a
powder.
strawberry milky one.
Ah, yes.
A Nesquickie.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
The quickie of the nest.
And then what was it?
I
2 and
believe
what?
I
2 and 4?
described it
2
as
and 4 was that was
creme
the
de strawberry.
cakey tasting one.
I just have the straight up metallic ones.
Boo. No, the grater's from him.
Oh, it tastes like berries.
There you go.
That was my quotation
Berries.
next to it. I actually wrote that down.
Berries?
Very
Berries and
important.
cream. I'm a little apple.
So you guys all kneel down to
Yes.
the urn? Yeah, and you guys like sort of allow the aromas to kind of swirl through, and it feels energizing. It feels a little sort of almost like a strong cup of coffee. It has a little sort of energizing effect.
I feel great.
I feel so at ease.
Okay. And Orba's gonna look to
Valves
Graven,
on.
and she's gonna say, I did not come all the way to Navika-Pura to die in a tunnel. Please don't let me die in a tunnel in Navika-Pura.
You will not.
Okay.
No one's let you die in a tunnel.
Well, he is the healer, so I figured I would let him know. Priority, like...
Graven, please don't let any of us
No
die
one's
in a tunnel.
going to die in the tunnel.
Okay, let's go.
You all stand up, and the room's a little. It's got a lot of a room.
Open the windows.
We open the door, there's the puff of smoke.
Erland put some towels on the bottom.
Yes, so you get next
And
successful
people have
hit,
the-
maximum
Yes, everybody
damage.
mark that down.
Next successful.
would have inflicted wounds.
Oh, you dumb idiot.
Such a
Your
dumb
next
idiot.
successful hit does max damage. You get 3 tries. If you miss 3 times, it goes away.
Yep.
Oh, what? Even if it's a ranged attack?
As long as it's an attack roll.
And not a save.
Yeah,
Ooh,
not
I
a
can do
save.
guiding bolt. That'll be good. All right.
This little
Who
bit of
says
time
we're
has
gonna get in a
passed.
fight then?
Yeah, just gonna chat.
I'm just gonna inspect some valves.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You guys exit out the door. You heading to the memorial. Great. You guys all kind of walk, feeling a little pep in your step as you move down towards the memorial. Again, it's pretty quiet here. You know, when you exit the door, you're used to kind of having that swirl of activity in kind of a place like when we took to. But here, it's very quiet. A couple people kind of pass by. You get some looks just because people know people in this town. You're very clear to a lot of people that you're not, citizens of Nagarwas. So you kind of make your way to the memorial. And still inside, there's a couple people they've moved on from mopping the floors. You see some people kind of dusting some of the windows and things. They clearly keep this place in very good condition. They take very good care of it. Very sort of partial to Mr. Melvin Hoggs and the service that he provided. And once again, now sitting on a stool, he seems to have found himself a stool, and he's sitting kind of looking through a ledger on the other side. You see Mr. Bowley.
Once we get close enough to him, I'll give him a wave.
And he sort of sits up, sort of looks expectantly.
More bodies and some extra supplies.
Excellent. I have something for you. A map of the Steedaway.
Okay.
He recognizes it.
Orba's
So he
over
gives
it.
him a-
Right, another map.
Yeah, Orba's like, yeah.
Here we go. We're gonna get
There we
trapped.
go.
Give us a map.
Yeah, just give us a map. Let's go.
Get my death saving throws ready.
Shut up.
As you can see, the spots where the valves are located are off of the main tunnels.
And you said those areas are dark, so we should be prepared for...
As soon as you're out of the main Steedaway, which I've lit with oil lamps, it's dark once you get into the tunnels, yes.
And I'm not that this is actually what I'm most worried about, but wildlife in this area. Have you seen anything creep down into the tunnels?
I can't say I have myself.
Okay. Would I know, would I know what might be able to creep down into a tunnel as far as, creatures go?
Generally, yes. Certainly any, common wildlife could theoretically make its way in there. You're also aware of the presence of things like onkegs and things that burrow through the ground.
That's what I mean.
Those are big, so someone would have noticed if an onkeg was, burrowing near those tunnels.
Yes,
that would have
yes.
been obvious, so, yeah.
And what's in the storage area?
That's where we keep, we lay a gravel down on the Steedaway to make it easy for the steeders to move through the tunnels. There's barrels of gravel in there.
Is there anything else there other than gravel?
A deck of cards, maybe, from where some of the boys were playing.
Does that seem true to me?
Make an insight check.
If there's explosives down there, I want to know.
Oh my gosh.
7.
It's hard to tell, but
Gets down there, lights a
He didn't
cigarette.
hesitate, he just...
Yeah.
The,
Oh my god, that'd be
the mild poison that you use on the steeders. Do you have any extra of that we could possibly employ?
There's some in the storage room, I think.
And if you're going down there, do you have your men wear masks of some kind, or...?
No. Unless you kick up a big gust, you're unlikely to inhale it. And like I said, right now there is none. The valves are off.
Alright, so what you're asking us to do is turn on all the valves?
Turn on all 5 valves, and then wait at least 30, 45 minutes, an hour. See if they turn off, see if anything shows up.
35 minutes an hour, alright. We should...
Let's go.
We should make quick work of this.
And he sort of is like, okay. Sort of surprised by
How much gold?
250 upon completion.
250.
And that's with some kind of evidence that you got rid of whatever was down there.
Oh, all right. So we need to also find out if anything is doing something to this.
If the valves don't turn off at all and they stay on and you've turned on all 5 valves, I'll give you half of the payment now and half of the payment tomorrow when it seems like nothing has happened.
Right.
If the valves turn off between that time, you won't get the full amount unless you go back down there.
All right.
Alright, let's go.
He gives you a nod. You guys start to go
So
down.
we're entering from which side?
You will be entering from that side that you're pointing at, yes.
May we see that for a second?
Yeah. I know.
Well,
Aha.
well.
So far apart, we can't station.
Yeah, so
one
it looks
person
like
in
he's
each.
marked, and I can throw this on the
No.
map too, and you guys are looking at it. It looks like he's marked a few spots where they tried to burrow out to put like a tank there, but the soil was either loose or those are the failed dig spots. There's a
Yeah.
little note there.
Gotcha.
So there's some tunnels that theoretically don't have stuff in them.
We should move quietly.
Oh.
Quickly, quietly, yes.
Probably both.
Okay. If we have to wait for an hour, this thing only lasts an hour.
Also, we're probably not going to split up at any point, but we should be ready with light of some kind.
Well, those two especially, yes.
Yeah.
Can you let us know when we're nearing an hour on the ash, the thing, the smelly thing?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Are you good with it? I'm just going to throw that out
for now.
So this is the map that they have. So they have a little map of it. And you guys start to descend this narrow staircase. There's a bit of kind of crunching to go with hollow clomps as you're descending this steep, narrow staircase. Pebbles and dirt that the excavators have tracked into this stairwell that are now kind of kicked around underfoot. The angle of the steps is so sharp that the light coming in from the memorial building disappears in just a couple of moments, but it's replaced by a warmer glow coming from up ahead. After the last wooden stair,
Right, above right here.
the tunnel's got some bugs. After the last wooden stair, the terrain turns to a fine gravel that's so pulverized it's almost like a sand, a cumbersome texture for some creatures to walk upon for an extended period of time, but it's perfect for the steeders to kind of grip with their little spined feet as they kind of
Cool.
scatter down the tunnels.
Cool.
As Mr. Boley mentioned, there are oil lanterns hanging every 20 feet or so, which as you look down the corridor, gives it a kind of hypnotizing infinite appearance, like looking down a long tunnel of lights. It looks like almost like 2 mirrors, one behind and one in front, where it just goes into infinity. About 50 feet from where you're standing, you can see a wooden frame built into the wall on both sides, perhaps the first deviation from the main steederway that leads to one of these caverns where the Malice tanks are located. I'm going to hand you that back. And I'm going to get you.
Oh, no, Daddy. Oh, no.
Oh no.
Not gonna fight anything, huh?
No, of course not. Why would we ever fight
This
anything?
is the first part of the tunnel.
Beautiful.
Oh, cool.
We're gonna negotiate.
Do you want to shout out the folks?
Yes, I mean, it's a popular service. Dungeon Draft is the name of the service that we're using some of their... let me zoom out a little bit on the map. We're using their service too.
Yes, I believe they have a Patreon, Forgotten Adventures, if you want to check it out. It's a really cool map building system.
Yeah, Forgotten Adventures is actually the assets that we use for it, not the actual program. So they designed, but they designed like Forgotten Adventures designed all of the like little objects on there.
Got it.
There we go. That's pretty good. That's most of it. Great. So you guys are coming down the tunnel from here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Here we are. Look at how cute we are, guys.
It'll go.
Look at us.
All right, you guys ascend the stairs. It's lit here in the main Steerway tunnels, and you do have a map, so you're aware of like the general location of these things.
And sorry, this is the storage again, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I say that we check the storage very quickly first, see if there is any backup malice. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Backup malice or any other thing we can use.
If there is a gust, remember we all should cover our faces.
Yes.
Do we see like? There's no malice. Is that correct? Do we see any like wisps of something
Malice
around?
is you can't see
Clear.
it. It's
Oh,
a
good.
yeah.
Really?
But he did say that the tanks are currently off. I guess you don't know that for certain.
Damn it. My whole plan.
My worry with this stuff, and Safira, as she's saying this, is going to kind of like muffle herself and kind of like, what I'm thinking is, if we don't know if any of these gets turned down, if I was down here, let's say, right, and I was like, oh look, a party of adventurers that are trying to screw up my scheme, let's just, I don't know, blind them, and then I can take them out that way. So what I'd like to avoid is that. So maybe we all wrap our faces, yeah? I mean, it might not help completely, but it's worth it, you know.
Will we smell it?
No, it's invisible gas. That's the problem, is you're not going to know if it's happening.
Okay, I will wrap my face.
I'd like to not talk as much as possible here, only because something could be down here we don't know where, and we should work quickly and quietly to get these up and running again, and then as soon as they're up and running, we should establish some sort of defensive formation in case we're attacked.
We won't. This is the problem, though. Even if we all split up to turn them all on at the same time, if we meet again in another place, there will be no way to know if one of them gets turned off. We all need to have eyes on each one of these. I think we need to split up and all keep eyes on one each, and then have some kind of a symbol, whether it's a whistle or the sound of a large stone.
I've got an idea. What if we go all the way to the back, to the last one, we turn it on, one of us stays, 4 go, and we backtrack, leaving one person at a time.
Should we hide, or should we stay in the well-lit area so that we can clearly see each other? It's not very long, right? This is like almost it's like 100 feet or something across.
But
so we could see everybody standing in the hall.
If we're in the well-lit area.
We won't be able to know. The person guarding this one, if you're all the way out here, you won't be able to know whether that's turned off or not. You need to be hiding somewhere in here.
Do I have that?
That's very dangerous if someone gets attacked.
But how else would we know if they stay on or not?
Because we will be running around this entire... If there's something burrowing or if there's something invisible...
Let's turn on the first one and see if it makes any sort of distinctive noise. Right? Because then we'll know.
Okay, well, let's go all the way to the back then and do that.
Yes. Well, wait, first. The storage first.
Yeah.
Okay,
yes.
fine.
I'm just saying, if when we turn the machine on, they make some sort of distinctive noise,
Then
we
at
can
least
stand in the
we'll know.
hallway and we'll know if our particular machine has been turned off.
And sorry, how long do we have to wait?
An hour.
An hour.
After we've turned them all on.
I've tied a black lion veil around my...
Yeah.
Or I guess our veil's sheer? That might not work.
I mean, all cloth is porous in some way.
Like, it's going to let some gas in. It's not perfect.
Alright, I'll see if I have something better, but I will have something.
I was hoping
If
for
the
like a
tunnel's
buff
filled
on the
with
throw,
it,
like
or
on the
like,
saving
it
throw,
really
is
goes
what I was
through
hoping
it.
for.
Is it possible
I
just to
don't
sort of
have
like
anything.
I know that I'm wearing Safira's cape. Is it possible to sort of take my tunic and sort of have it here, or is that would that be difficult to move?
Yeah, I'm going to try
Once
to...
you
It might be
take one
difficult to do
swing.
certain things. You can certainly walk around and do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'll pull my shirt up for now, but I don't have anything else.
Yeah, do I
I
have?
gave all my clothes
I mean,
away.
if you were to do anything like physically active, it
Right.
would fall down. But yeah, you can hold it up. Yeah.
Let's check the storage room quickly now.
Okay. It's kind of moving down, and it kind of crunches beneath your feet as you're moving through. Are you going, taking it right here through this first one, or are you going all the way down?
Let's take a right during the first one. I'll lead the way and I'll try and move
We're
quietly.
taking it right.
Oh yeah, I guess my plan's going to shit.
Give me stealth check.
No, we're going to the storage place.
Storage first.
Oh.
Give me stealth check.
Oh, almost.
Yep.
God damn it.
Oh my god. You know what? Don't even... I don't even need to hear it from you.
5.
7.
24, guys. Come on.
I'm sorry, Safira has
Come
flat
on,
feet.
alright.
So you're
today.
walking, and the sort of gravelly sand is
This
pretty
go first.
quiet beneath your feet. As you're walking, it makes sort of a light little sort of tapping, crunching noise. But as soon as you take a right into this little sort of, there's clearly these 2 tunnels that go in opposite directions, theoretically, for the Steederway. There's these little sort of maintenance tunnels that allow you to get quickly from one to the other. That's what these little sort of in-between things are. And as you kind of step down into that, you're expecting a little more of that sandy texture, but it's actually a very hard stone, so you get a little with your boot that kind of echoes throughout the tunnel a little bit.
Beware of that.
Sorry.
Do we hear anything else move when that happens?
Fuck me.
God damn.
6.
We know
You
nothing.
hear the kind of... Nothing seems to come out of it.
Here's a thought. If we need some kind of evidence that we've gotten rid of whatever the thing is doing in here, why don't we just draw it out?
Because if we are not, we might draw out an anchor. We might draw out something else that's not doing it. We need confirmation that something is doing this, and then we need to attack.
Also, whatever's doing this is not just a burrowing creature. It's something that has opposable thumbs.
Not,
I mean, it's
Not
not.
that he's trying to trick human beings into doing it.
I suppose something that involves some higher cognition. I doubt it's an unkeg.
Let's continue down. Feet on the
It
sand.
was our behind.
So I was like, where is it? Legs, they're coming.
So you guys make it all the way down. You finally get, and just as the map kind of indicates, you're following the sort of general instructions of the map. There's a sort of cavern off to the right. It's very dark. There's no light in there, but you can see a cavern going off.
Before I head in, can I give a listen to hear if I
Sure, give me another perception.
see if I hear anything?
Come on, here's something. There we go.
19.
19. Erland kind of motions to everyone to stop for a moment. He gives a listen. Dead silence.
Okay, I'm gonna sort of move into the story.
Right,
here.
so you have dark vision. Graven does not. Orba does. Safira does. Beezaura does not. Are you all coming in here?
I'm just gonna follow behind him and say like, let me know as soon as I can make the light.
As soon as I can see the whole room,
Okay.
I want to say to Graven, like, if you can try and shelter it, but there's nothing in here.
Shelter it.
Like, just so it doesn't glow outwards. Round the corner first.
Okay.
How big is this room?
10 by 20 feet. I mean,
Okay,
it's not a huge room.
I'll stay outside and like
Beezaura
guard it.
Stays in the tunnel. Great. So you start to walk in. You get to the kind of edge where it opens up a little bit. Peek around the corner. Like you said, there's a number of kind of storage barrels like stacked up against the wall, so you can't see what's in them at the moment. And then a table and chairs. There's a deck of cards. There's a book on that looks like someone was. That's it. It just looks like a.
Which book?
It looks like it's kind of a ledger for taking inventory. Like it seems to say 6 barrels of Malice.
Can I make light?
Is there nothing seemingly in the room?
It's tiny as far as you can
Great.
tell.
Around the corner, I'll guide him so he's around the corner and he can make a light.
I'll put my hand around my mace a little bit and turn it on.
Turn it on.
Yeah. Is there any?
Can I
What
go?
look like vials of
barrels.
hostile? There's no.
Can I go to the ledger?
Malice.
You
Can I go to the ledger and
You got
sort of
confused
take a
where
look
we were
through it, see if
staying.
it maybe lets me know what's presently here? in the
Sure.
barrels?
Give me an investigation check.
God damn it. Boom or bust today? 5.
5. Yeah, it seems very generic, and it doesn't tell you specifically what was supposed to come in or out. Right now, it seems to indicate that, as he had mentioned before, they repaired one of them. One of them was broken, and they filled it back up with Malice. It says that we brought in 2 barrels of Malice to fill one of the tanks with. Other than that, it's pretty bare bones. Not a ton of information.
Is that what these barrels are? They're mounts.
Do you want to check one of them? Great. You kind of go over to one of the barrels. Are you going to pull the lid off? It's a barrel with a lid.
Careful, Graven.
No.
Don't.
But it's not labeled.
Look, it's a gas, okay? And I'm assuming that if you open it like that in a small room like this, there's a possibility we could all blind ourselves. I want to find out what's in there as well. Is there a way that we could take a sample of something? Or
I doubt it. How big is this?
Pretty big. Comes up to your waist, each barrel. I mean,
So,
there's a few of them.
To carry this would be like.
You could carry it, but it would be heavy, yeah.
I don't think this is
There's
useful
no
to us.
labels on any side of it, or
No.
As I'm outside, do I hear or see anything?
Give me a perception check.
oh boy.
Oh gosh.
You hear a bunch of ding dongs.
14.
14. Beezaura's kind of standing watch, she can hear people kind of, turn the light off. In the sort of room behind her.
my
Kind of looking back and forth. And you look down kind of in this direction, and you're not sure, but you could swear you see a little,
no?
sand just kicking up.
Just a little. Yeah, exactly.
But that's it.
How's it going in there?
Erland, before we leave, I know we want to
Okay.
Good.
That's what I thought they would say. Ignore me.
I'll sort of whisper back, 1 second.
Okay, I may have seen something.
Orba's gonna go out and meet her.
Okay, really quickly, just. Do you smell anything weird? You know, the sense, the thing that you've got, is it anything, are you getting anything? Can you just do a good little sniff or of lick something or something? I don't know, you do what you do.
Lick it?
Do I smell anything?
Not in a way that you assume that she's talking about.
I
It smells a little musty in here.
There's
I
dust.
don't entirely know.
Okay, I'm gonna use your nose as we go round here. You're gonna let me know.
There's nothing. It's an odorless gas. It's an odorless gas.
You don't need to tell me what I already know. You know what I'm asking about.
There's
You smell
nothing.
the
No,
stuff.
no.
Okay. I'm gonna start heading
He's
outside.
gonna turn around and walk out.
You keeping your light lit?
No.
So as you
Smell
get
it.
sort of closer to the tunnel.
Yeah.
Can I have Beezaura point? Do you mind pointing where you thought you saw something?
Right down there, there was just sand that was kicked up like something scurried by.
If you could guess which direction it was scurrying off to, would there be a way to?
Wow.
Nice.
Damn.
So you were looking down, and you swear you saw some dust kind of kicking up right near these next entrances.
Okay.
Is that on the map? Yeah.
Right down there. Over to the left. I don't.
All right.
Put something heavy on there.
I couldn't see what it was, but there was definitely some movement.
Okay.
This isn't here. I'm just
Sorry,
putting
so
it there so they don't fall.
This is one of the failed ones, but this is not. Are they both?
No, that's
failed?
a collapse. That's a collapsey boy.
They are both failed ones on that.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Failed dig spot. Yes, that's a failed dig spot.
But not this one. This is just a.
Maybe it's also a failed.
Yes.
Okay,
That
so
is
they're both
also
failed.
failed. Great. Failed dig spot.
I
failed
say
dig
we
spot.
just make our way to this farthest one here. Turn it on and see what we learn about what
Okay.
happened when we turn it on.
Proceed quietly, though.
Thanks.
Yes, obviously.
I'm obviously gonna have my crystal out.
Two of us are so bitter.
Yeah.
Okay, we know.
Yeah.
God
Can
damn it.
I dropped my file. I'm like, oh, sorry.
Can I ready an action that if anything that isn't one of my 4 companions comes within 5 feet of me, I attack it?
Anything.
You may, yes.
Including.
What are you guys going to? If you go to do something else that stops.
No,
the
yeah, I just
ready
mean
action-
while I'm walking in
Sure.
this, while I'm walking ahead.
Yes. So where are people headed? Where is each person headed here?
I think we're all sticking.
We're all
together,
sticking
right?
all-
together.
Can I also ready ice knife for if I see anything that isn't like of intelligent, like an intelligent being, like any kind of monster or anything? Is that too
living,
vague?
that is a little vague.
Okay.
Like any movement at all, you can do that.
No, if I see a creature that isn't an intelligent
That isn't
creature.
one of your party members.
Yeah, I guess, or another.
She's trying to
You
Leave
won't be.
humans out.
You won't be able to snap. Like if you're readying something to snap judge,
I
you're not gonna be able
can't,
to like. Is that an intelligent thing? Okay, you know what I mean.
Got it.
You can do
Are you
it for
smart?
anything that isn't your
How smart
party
are you?
members.
What's your IQ?
Oh no!
What's your IQ?
Okay, I'm still gonna prepare Ray of Frost. Yeah, for anybody that isn't my companions.
Okay.
Duck, if you understand me.
No! He didn't talk. Do you think that means he didn't understand?
Okay. So you guys are continuing.
So we're trying. Graven suggested going to the far one here, so I think we'll have
That's
to
what
cross
I-
over there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. You're all going in that direction.
My fists
Do we
are
see
always
foot?
red.
That's where Beezy pointed to. Do we see like footsteps on the ground?
Give me a perception check.
Be perceptive. Be perceptive.
17.
17.
Finally.
You cannot tell it. If you didn't trust Beezaura, you would think she was lying. The ground is undisturbed.
Does he trust me?
entirely.
That's
Well,
fine.
I'm saying like if it wasn't someone that you knew,
Yeah.
like the ground is almost entirely undisturbed.
Are we disturbing the ground?
A little barely. Like the ground, it's soft enough that like it doesn't leave like a footprint. It just
Okay.
like smushes a little
So
bit.
conceivably, something really small wouldn't really.
Yes, that's true. Yes, something very small or very light would not necessarily disturb.
Which direction did you see it traveling?
The way we're going.
Like
Tell
across that way.
We'll proceed as quietly as possible into this.
So just
Can I give Graven like a smother the light, point of the light?
I haven't had to
Yeah,
wait.
you
You already
did.
did.
Okay, great. Great. You start to go.
It happened.
Graven's like,
And once again, like as you step off of the speederway into the tunnel, it's a little harder. The ground's clearly been kind of mined through. Like it took effort to get through the rock here as they sort of paved this way. And you start to go in. Give me a perception check as you're headed in. The first couple of people, Safira and Graven, also give me perception checks.
Me, even in the dark?
With disadvantage.
Damn it! Why do I open my
Didn't
mouth?
matter.
Although it didn't matter. Yeah.
12.
6.
9.
Don't talk to
Okay, so as you guys kind of enter, you're looking around and you can see off to the left as you're sort of moving toward where you know the tank to be. You do see that the wall is not as kind of structured as around where you are. These failed dig sites that they tell, it looks like they tried to dig into that terrain, and then it was kind of crumbling, so they said, we don't want to dig there.
Like this area
Yep,
right here.
like right there, yep. So it looked like it was insecure to keep digging there, so they stopped and started digging in a different direction.
Right, so you guys move in. And you get all the way to the tank.
Can I stay at the entrance there?
Sure, you can, yeah. Bizarre, are you following them in, or are you staying with
I'll stay with Orba.
Do we think, or right before we split up, do we think that it's worth investigating, just taking a look down one of these ways, even if we end up using it as a trap, leading something down that way and then coming back?
It says it's it says it could cave in, so let's not do that.
I guess that's what I mean. Is
I don't want to miss
as a last ditch effort if we need to lead
I
something
don't
down
want to risk
there.
it caving in on us. It's a bad way to go.
Does the thing seem damaged or?
Oh, so you're going up to the tank now? Great.
So you guys walk all the way up.
To the tank there. So you get up to the tank. It's very large. It's taller than you, and there's a big sort of, just as he described, a kind of wheel valve mechanic. And then off to the right, you can see there's a pipe going from the tank and then into the wall that looks like it goes back out towards the sewer. You can clearly see that on the map. That's marked on the map too. I think they're white on the little pipes on the thing. So you walk up to it and give it a little inspection. Give me a perception. Give me an investigation check as you inspect it.
Oh my god. 8.
8. As far as you can tell, it does not seem damaged. No.
Does it seem like when we were walking in, like there would be any place to reasonably hide in this area?
I guess in the failed dig site area. I mean, you wouldn't be able to be far. You could see the end of it, but...
where I could hide and also see the...
yeah, maybe at the end of that little hallway, yeah. Like, if you were here...
I see.
You could kind of see the tank and see out into the Steederway.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Can I make a little light in here while we turn this on?
Yes. So I'm gonna go to turn it on.
Alright. Give me an athletics check.
Ooh, athletics. Maybe the Goliath. Maybe the Goliath. 19.
19.
You wanted me to whip out that so bad.
So bitter.
Erland gets a nice solid base. He grabs it from one side.
Still foreman, okay?
And it makes kind of... And then after you kind of get it going a little bit, it seems like it pulls, the momentum carries a little bit, and then it kind of hits another...
It doesn't seem from
side.
lack of use, does it? It just
No, it's just heavy.
heavy.
Yeah, it's
okay.
just it seems heavy to use. Don't hear anything.
Does the machine make any sort of
It makes no
mechanical
noise.
sounds?
No.
Well.
Shit.
All these machines are attached to like a pipe, right?
Yeah, each one has a pipe that goes out into the Steederway.
Okay.
They're not all connected, but each one has its own pipe.
And when I know I'm out here, I'm just asking.
Yep.
When you turn them on, there's theoretically no evidence that it's actually working.
You can't see it. It's odorless and colorless.
Right.
If you were to bend down and sniff the ground, you might be able to tell that it was working.
Well, it's
Because you would
odorless,
go
isn't it?
blind, right?
Well, you would go blind.
Me.
Can you see the pipe, or the pipe just goes right into the ground?
You cannot from where you are.
Right.
They can see the pipe going into the wall, yes.
So once I've done it, I'm going to start.
We have to keep eyes on these mechanisms.
I agree. So,
Okay, so we've.
who wants to stay back on this one?
Okay, I can stay behind.
Okay, stay. I'll sort of gesture to where you pointed to, Matt, so that you can see both the hallway and also the mechanism.
Okay.
Safira's going to position herself kind of in a nook over here. You can see the tank and the...
And while we're standing there, did we see anything?
You did not.
Nice work.
Really?
Safira, we'll set up somebody right across from you over here. But they won't be able to see that from there, will they?
I'm.
What a patrol. Just, 20 paces back and forth.
That's not a bad idea.
Good idea.
And I suppose we all know the signal, right?
Well, the creature might not come out if.
Were you not
Well-
able to tell if it was on or not?
It's already on.
You're sure?
Wait, what?
Yes, I just turned it on.
He just turned it on.
Oh, I'm saying you're able to tell it's working.
It seems I've turned it off to on. Unless it's some sort of special device.
It didn't say anything about it being empty, like it should.
Can I-
He said that. In fact, he said
Okay,
that they should.
Can I
be.
look around in the tunnels? Is there anything like any kind of? I promise I'm not trying to talk to animals, but any kind of like rats or like anything like little small animals?
No, in fact, it seems like because of this sort of artificial tunnel that they've dug out, they've done a good job like reinforcing walls and things in a way to keep out specifically burrowing creatures and things. You don't see any evidence of that.
It's a bummer. If I could find something that I could dangle it over the ground a few inches and see if it goes blind. But I'm not doing it with my own.
How would you know if it? Well, I guess you'd talk to it.
Is there any way to feel the pipe and see if anything's radiating through it, or?
Would you like to go and put your hand over the hole?
I think that we should.
Actually, that's not a bad idea. Can I kind of touch one of the pipes?
Like back here where it's going into the wall.
Yeah, just and see if I feel a vibration.
You walk back and feel it. It's definitely not vibrating or anything. There's a tiny bit of warmth to it.
Oh. Everyone was gonna do the idea.
Okay, well,
Thank you.
these pipes are warm, so I'm assuming that's a way that maybe we can check if the machine's on. The pipe might warm up, so we can touch them. And if they're warm to the touch, then the machines are on.
We should work quickly. The more we talk, the less
Thank
we.
you.
Yes.
So someone stay here with their hand on this pipe, keeping their face away from the ground, and then we'll go and we'll start to turn on the other ones and
All right.
Okay.
keep our hands by the pipes.
Okay.
So now someone's no longer staying here.
I guess, again, another, 20 paces back and forth. Put your hand on the pipe, come back. Just to
This
check
is
in.
a solid wall. You can't
Yes,
see.
that is 100% solid wall. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this person's going to be able to see this person. But
Yes,
not
that's
that way.
right.
All right. So, Safira, go to this one. We're gonna go down here, and I'm gonna just check on this pipe real quick before we go back into here to see
Sure.
if it's cold.
So the first thing, Safira goes over to the pipe. First of all, the pipe comes out on purpose very low to the ground, so it doesn't drizzle down in. It's like they want to keep it low on the very sort of base surface of the tunnel. So you kind of have to reach down to do it, and you can put your hand down. And you can feel a little bit of warmth coming off the end of it. It's pretty subtle, but you can feel it there.
like a hot breath.
Yeah, but not even like a sustained one, just like a little pulse of warm air each time.
Mm.
And you want to go check this
Do
one?
we know if
Yeah.
we don't? There's not like a. It's not like contact, right? Like if we have our hand in front of the gas and then
It is
like
an
touch our
inhaled
eyes or
poison.
something.
No, it is an inhale only.
I'm gonna follow as Graven goes over to that. I'm gonna sort of walk into the tunnel area quietly.
Into this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Quietly.
Orba and Beezaura?
I guess I'll go with Erland, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay here and hold my hand as you go to turn that one on.
Okay.
Just to make
I
sure.
don't
So Graven kind of puts his arm down. And you don't feel any warmth coming up from him. Awesome.
Knowing I'm coming up to a fork here, I want to kind of listen before I get into the sort of tea.
Give me a perception check.
14.
14. You hear nothing. Great.
Because that could still be something.
Yes.
But something is always something.
Or nothing.
Whoa. So now I'm gonna slowly move around.
So Beezaura, are you following them through? Because it's dark in here.
I'll stay behind.
Okay, you
at
can
the
see Graven
entrance,
just
yeah.
outside there. Are you going with Erland?
Yeah.
Okay, two of you can go around. And once again, big tank, doesn't look visibly any different than the one you saw last time. Large wheel.
Alright, I'm gonna give it a.
Great. Erland grabs. Give me another athletics check.
An 18.
18. And it kind of clicks into place on the other side. You can't hear that, so
I
you
know,
don't know,
I
like,
know.
ready.
So I'm gonna, as I do that, I'm gonna just move out and sort of keep my head around.
Look to Graven like.
So you kind of, because there's a little bit of light leaking in, you can see Erland coming back around the corner. So he sees Beezaura. Beezaura turns to Graven.
Do you see anything? Do you feel anything yet?
It's cold still.
Not yet.
Okay, I'm gonna wait there then. Oh, actually, would I hear Graven say that? Pretty.
If you want to relay the message or say it.
Nothing yet.
Okay, so I'm gonna wait there, and I'm gonna ready an action for anything that's.
Wait where?
Wait. I was gonna stop there, and I want to ready to action there.
Okay.
I'm gonna look down the other way. Do I see
Give
anything?
me a perception check.
Like fools down here.
16.
16. You don't see anything down there.
And since that's where I saw it before, like right where I'm standing, can I just look around my feet?
Yeah, you take you have a moment here while people are doing other things to take a good peek. If something disturbed the ground, it covered its tracks very well.
Okay.
You definitely don't see.
Tiefling, get ready.
Yup.
Graven, anything?
Oh, no warm yet.
Okay, I'm gonna quietly move back towards with my action.
Give me a stealth check.
15?
15. Now knowing the sort of how hard the terrain is, you quietly peer around. You don't see anything? Oh my god.
Does the machine look...
It looks to be in the same position that you left it. It doesn't seem to have turned back off since you
Does
last
it seem like different from the other one I turned on in any way?
It doesn't.
I look back at Graven.
Nothing.
And I don't see any... I don't see any like dusts of sand. I don't see any markings on the ground.
Are you getting up closer to it?
As I move closer, I want to look at like the ground.
Okay, give me a perception check.
God, guys. 11.
So you sort of peer around the tank. You're looking for any signs of damage or anything. At one point, you go to look at the ground and you place your hand on the tank, and it's warm. So it feels like there's something in the tank, but it feels like that's not, based on what Graven has told you, it's not getting through to the pipe. You take a look around, and behind the tank, like wedged in the back against the wall, is a wrench.
Like wedged in the pipe?
No, not wedged in the pipe, wedged between the tank and the rock wall. Like someone had thrown it behind the tank.
Does it seem like that would just choke a pipe off or something like that, or?
Not necessarily. It's not in the pipe. The pipe is going into the wall.
Yeah.
But there are bolts on the pipe that look like a wrench could open.
Okay. I'm going to turn it off first.
Okay.
I'm going to... Can I still see Orba? How tight is
If you
that?
back up 5 feet.
I'm going to look to Orba and say, someone's unscrewed something. Can you get sight of me so you can cover me? I need to try and fix this, but I don't want to turn my back on.
Okay.
Do I hear them whispering?
You can definitely hear them whispering. Are you speaking loud enough for her to hear you? What you're
Not
saying?
into the hallway, no.
They're trying to be pretty quiet.
Orba,
Orba's gonna give you
what's going on?
Just wait.
Okay.
So Erland's going up to the thing. You're like standing here, Orba, so you can see Erland.
Yeah.
Safira's just
and I'm
still-
gonna have.
It's like still warm. Yours is still
Nothing's
warm.
wrong with mine.
If someone loses it, you can breathe it
What's the
in.
problem over here?
And I'm actually.
He turned it off.
Yes, and I'm gonna
Turn it
have.
off, yes.
But
Question about the urn.
Well, we'd find out.
Say the first thing I do is something that is a saving throw. Does that then negate the bonus to the
Something that
attack?
is a saving throw. Like if you cast a spell that's a saving throw, it does not apply to that at all.
Right, but I don't lose the bonus if I do an attack spell next time?
No.
Okay.
It's the next attack roll that
great.
it only applies to. It does not apply at all to saving throws. It just
And the saving
ignores
throw,
them.
you get 3 chances
Yep,
on
3
that.
attack rolls, regardless. It doesn't matter in what order you do them.
Orba's gonna have Maximilian's Earthen Grasp ready to go. For if she sees anything other than her companions.
Okay, you got it.
Okay, I'm gonna just of my sort of tunic. Actually, I just want to rip off a little bit of the bottom and try and tie it around my face here.
Sure.
And I want to get in there and see if I can't use the. You said it looks like there are bolts that have been unscrewed.
Not that it looked unscrewed. There are bolts on the pipe that if you took the wrench, you could.
Oh, okay, I see.
Do
So
it,
I'm gonna
yes.
try and take the wrench.
Okay.
Is it like if I put my hand in? Is it conceivable that there's room behind for something to get me? Maybe.
It's pretty tight to the wall.
Okay, so then I'm gonna put my hand in and try and
Give me an acrobatics check.
Yeah.
9.
9.
We have to
Able to get it.
Got my hand stuck in a vending
Yeah,
machine.
you got your hand around the wrench and you give it a pull, but it seems like it's jammed pretty good back there. Are you gonna give it a good yank?
It's right up against the mechanism as well, right?
Like the valve?
It's right up against the machine, though. Yeah. In addition, it's wedged in between
the wall of the machine. Yes.
Okay. I don't want to. No, I don't want to give it a hard pull. I want to try and almost lock pick it out if I can.
Okay, you kind of. And because we'll lump this in with the other roll, you kind of get it loose a little bit, and as you pull it, it comes up and it just kind of dong hits the pipe a little bit.
Okay.
And it doesn't break anything, but it makes a loud dong that even
I,
Beezaura
turn
can
my-
hear out in there.
Do I hear anything?
No.
Okay, can I try and tighten the screws?
Sure. They seem pretty tight already.
Is this wrench have any distinguishing features on it?
Nope.
What in the...
Someone wrote their name.
And there's no like evidence of digging into this to like mess with the pipe, is there?
Digging into the wall?
Like digging
No.
into the wall? No. Are there any other like bolts that this wrench would fit on this machine?
Not that you can immediately see.
Orba sees that he's struggling. What happens if you loosen those bolts? What if somebody installed a blockage of some kind?
Oh yeah, I guess
I was gonna do that.
okay, I'll start to loosen one of the bolts.
Hold your breath.
And you get one loose. Go the other one.
Yeah.
And you can feel you have kind of a pipe in your hand, and you can feel it as you sort of loosen the second one. It sort of loosens a little bit, so it looks like you're holding it, but you could like detach it, or at least like separate it from.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna do that then.
Please turn off.
I need you to give me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, you're so good at those.
14.
Ooh, I don't remember what the DC is for this.
No.
It's 15.
So as you're holding it, you kind of pull it, and there's a little bit of warmth in your hand on the pipe. And as you pull it, there's just kind of a little bit of warmth washes over your face, and you turn your head a little bit.
Even with the fucking towel.
Nothing happens as far.
Okay, I'm gonna try and keep my head a little further away. Is there a blockage in the pipe that I have to
Peek into the pipe.
I have to like, can I?
It's like here. It's like you can't like just take the pipe.
Oh,
loose.
yeah,
it's still
it's
in the
still in
wall,
the wall.
partially. Yeah, so you have to like.
Oh my god.
And it's an inhalant?
Yes.
I'm gonna
Hold your breath.
hold my breath,
Okay.
and I'm gonna look into the pipe.
And you look into the pipe, and with your dark vision, you're able to see that there is something crumpled up and stuffed into the pipe. It looks like maybe like a piece of leather or cloth or something that's been.
Is it a wide enough pipe that I can just use my hand to pull it out?
It's tight, but maybe.
I don't think I have any.
Yeah, where are your little hands when we need?
I don't think I have anything.
What do you need there?
Does Orba have tinier hands than me?
A little bit. The only person who has significantly smaller hands is Beezaura.
I also have, a magical hand.
That's also true.
Oh yeah.
15 pounds of pressure though?
I don't know.
Tiefling.
Ah.
Can you summon your magical hand to pull something out of this tube?
He's not even halfway done with the sentence. She's got it out and ready to go.
Just so you know, you have now stopped readying your other. If you do any action, it stops the readying. of your
That is
other one.
fine.
Okay.
To come in and do it.
Make the mage hand appear.
We got our job.
So there's a piece of leather or something in here. It just needs to be pulled out.
I'm gonna have my face away from it at this point.
Okay, she sees him being careful, so she's actually gonna hold her breath and get closer. So I think she has to maintain some kind of vision, so she's gonna try to
Should
see
have
it.
been like, hold your breath.
Yeah.
You can see it in there. Piece of leather.
As
cloth,
if
something.
she's focused really intently on the pipe, I'm gonna sort of look outwards. I know I probably can't ready an action holding this for
No,
her.
you can't. But you can look out. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not very far. You can,
Yeah.
15 feet. in
Just
that
so nothing
direction.
can come up right behind us.
Okay, and I'm gonna see if I can.
And you see the kind of arcane hand kind of get itself thin a little bit and leak into the pipe. And there's like a little as it pulls it out in the end.
Still holding my breath. She's gonna have the hand like kind of hold it up.
Can we tell what it is?
It looks like it's a piece of like a leather piece of armor, but not like a whole piece of armor. Obviously, like a strip of it or something. Like it has like a metal stud on it.
Sort of common, like no identifiable.
Yeah, as if
features.
someone like cut off a piece of their leather tunic or something and jammed it in there.
Okay.
Yeah. Can Orba like? She doesn't want to put it with her stuff because I'm sure there's gas on it. But can she like just put it in like, stick it into her like pant like top so that it's kind of hanging out?
Sure.
Okay.
Stuff in my underwear.
All right. I'm
Stuff it
gonna,
in my mouth.
Yeah.
Anyone got a Ziploc?
I'm gonna hold my breath again and screw it back on. This takes more than 30 seconds. I have to do a Constitution saving throw with my breath.
It does not.
Okay. All right.
And I'm gonna.
It's like,
I'm just
Uh,
standing there.
I'm gonna sort of indicate to Orba to sort of go back to where she was.
Okay.
Looks around.
And I'm
Orba's
gonna,
gonna-
Signal to Beezaura. Beezaura signals to Graven.
I'm gonna give it a turn.
And a little bit of warmth at the end of the pipe there.
Alright, I'm gonna quietly move back out. Jeez, guys.
Well, I've got the evidence, and she'll take out the cloth. It was in the pipes, so.
Oh wow.
Actually, do you still have that wrench? We might need it. Go get that wrench.
I'm gonna go back at the wrench.
Who's going to watch this one?
I'll put it in my
I'll
head.
stay here.
Okay.
Let's cross over. Give Safira a wave and head to the pipe over there.
Okay.
I've just been waiting.
You've been
there.
hearing like a little bit of like noises from far in the
What
tunnel.
are they?
And finally you see Erland, Orba, and Beezaura emerge to the other side.
Give her a wave.
Still warmth coming out.
Safira's just like, mine's still fine.
Alright.
Proceed, over this one.
I'll leave this map from here for a moment.
Oh boy.
Hi, guys. Oh.
And you've been forgotten.
God.
This way.
Come on, baby. Let's go. Let's have that be the only thing. Sure.
Yeah, come on.
You guys start to move down.
Sure.
Alright, I'm gonna lead the way into this one.
Okay.
Quietly
This
as usual.
this one's pretty small. When you get up to the tank, like if Beezaura and
Okay.
Orba are at the, you can see them from there.
This time I want to look around the tank first.
Give me a perception check.
Natural
Oh my
one.
god.
Here we
You
go.
love to see it.
Nothing out of the ordinary.
Great.
Everything's fine.
Giving it a half-assed sort of look. I'm gonna
Cocky.
arrogantly.
2 down. What's the difference?
It's
So
fine.
used to the weight at this point.
Good.
Turn around.
Oh, where's the exit to that pipe?
On the other map.
On the other map?
Yeah.
It's there.
Okay.
I'm gonna whisper to Beezaura. Check to see if there's heat from the pipe.
I'm gonna go over.
Warmth coming out. Beezaura's also on the other map. Graven and Safira.
Well, I'm doing a little back and forthy here.
What are you doing a little back? So you're on.
So I'm on that one, but I'm like, I got my hand on it, but I'm gonna like walk down,
walking down the tunnel?
walking down the tunnel, yeah, and
How far? Like all the way over here?
to where I can see them, and straight, if Orba's still there, straight there, I'm gonna give like a, you stay at this middle one,
Okay.
okay, and then like back down and maybe see if I can cross paths with Safira.
You're
at
heading
some
back
point.
to your pipe?
Yeah.
Great.
So I'm
You
gonna
going down to touch it?
Yeah, and to touch it.
Cold.
You bitch! Sorry.
It's the same amount of information. And then I'm gonna like, go like back, and I'm gonna like first stick my head through to where Safira. Yeah,
Where's she with?
mine's gone cold. And then I'm gonna go down and then to where they are, back to Orba. Mine's gone cold.
He's gone cold!
Is mine still warm?
Yours is still warm? Yeah. Then they can see you're still from where they are.
Goliath, get back to your post.
Something's happened. We all have to go.
If we leave anything unattended, it's going to get turned off. Anybody who has one currently running,
Stay there. We're going back to your post. We're gonna go back with.
Great. Give me a perception check if you're walking.
Would you like to go, or would you like me to go?
And Orba.
I'll
as
stay
well.
with this one.
Okay, I will go.
Orba as well, and Erland. Perception check.
Okay.
21.
Am I checking it in?
Perceptive.
14.
14. So as you guys are walking back
proceed.
down the hallway, sort of frustrated, making your way back down towards that tunnel that you were in initially, a sound that kind of moves through the hallway, just an ever so slight,
Like in
gasp.
front of us?
Hard to tell where it's coming from exactly. It definitely sound. That's the first time you've heard the sound of something else in here that you weren't pretty sure what it was.
Sound like voices.
A gasp, kind of.
A gas.
Does it sound like anything I've heard before?
No.
I'm readying oh, sorry, did I not hear that?
No, you did.
Okay. I'm readying Maximilian's Earthen Grasp.
I'm gonna ready an attack. Yeah. Okay. For anything that's not us. Did everyone hear that?
Graven did not. He was behind you guys a little bit.
And
Graven,
did I hear
No.
that?
I'm gonna try and I want to describe. There was a sort of invisible gasp. Does that sound like any creature you've heard of, or any magic you've heard of?
That's a bit vague for any kind of magic, but yeah, I don't know. There's clearly something here with us. Let's get them all turned on.
Yes.
Let's go.
All right, we're gonna go back to the other one.
How long does it take to do something ritually? 10 minutes?
10 minutes.
And they
Safira is there. Safira's there.
I should have just done that earlier.
Yeah.
detect traps or something.
No. Detect
Alright.
poison.
I'm gonna.
Oh my god.
First level, I'm gonna cast detect poison and disease.
Okay. Ritually or as
Just
a spell?
I'll
Okay.
take a first level spell spot.
Go ahead and read the
spell
text of
slot.
that. Yeah, okay.
So I have to keep concentration, but for up to 10 minutes, I can sense the presence and location of poisons, poisonous creatures, and diseases within 30 feet of me.
Sorry, read that one more time.
For the duration, you can sense the presence and location of poisons, poisonous creatures, and diseases within 30 feet of me.
Okay.
I can also identify the kind of poison, poisonous creatures, or disease in each case.
Great.
It can penetrate most barriers, but is blocked by 1 foot of stone. Yeah, basically 30 feet around
Sure,
me.
30 feet around you, you
where I
can
can
detect
see
it. Great.
So, boom, casted.
Great.
Cast.
So if where am I? I'm still
You're with
here.
us?
So I imagine I
So
don't see anything.
immediately, as you guys start to get a little closer, you can start to see like on the surface of the ground, like dancing along the surface, possibly because of you know that some of the other ones are on. It's like filling the tunnel a little bit, just at the base of the floor. The mountains.
Oh, but it's unclear where it's coming from.
It's,
all just kind
thicker coming from this direction because those two ones are on.
Not coming from here.
It's like dissipating a little bit because you know that it was on at least for a short period. But yes, it's now thinning out in that area.
Can we see if it starts pouring into the offshoots at all? Or does it stay pretty much on the trail?
It does pour off into the sides, yeah.
All right, I can tell that it's definitely stopped coming from the one that I was checking, but it seems to be still coming from the other two, and I'll let you know if I see any differences.
I'm gonna quietly.
Was the first one in?
I'm gonna, as I round the corner, I want to listen and I want to move quietly.
Give me a stealth check. Yeah, are you going with him?
Yes.
Okay. And Graven staying out here?
For now.
Oh, that's a 7. Thank Jesus. 12.
Orba stealth check? If you're attempting to move
yes.
stealthily?
I'm gonna
Is that
move
conjured
with
Yeah.
Clomp. Stealth 19.
I want to do an unstealth check.
I still have
I would like to be
Maximilian's, right?
loud.
Right. Yeah,
How
Maximilian's opens right
wild can I walk in
now.
there?
Says you guys, are you moving around to the thing?
Yeah, again, listening before I make any turns.
Banging on
Give me
the
a
walls.
perception check.
Fuck me. A 6.
6. So as you're sort of moving
Wow.
through the tunnel here, working your way back towards the thing, you hear
Useless.
that thing once again. Just a passing gasp. And as Orba is behind you, something comes out of the wall sort of just over your
gosh.
left shoulder, passing through the wall sort of incorporeally, a kind of spectral figure. And it immediately starts to head towards Erland. I'm going to allow you to cast your spell as you
Okay.
see it coming.
Does that, with Maximilian's, is it sharing a space with Erland?
It would be. I mean, sort of, yes.
Okay.
It's kind of in the wall. It's partially coming out of the wall. You said the first thing you saw that wasn't.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I don't see it yet.
This is happening like
I just
literally
can't
right
cast
there.
it when it's there's an occupied space. That's why I was asking.
Then you cannot. It's partially in the wall and partially in Erland's space.
And I had,
make sure-
I had a ready to attack.
Yeah, it
as
has
well.
to be unoccupied.
You didn't see it,
Oh, I
so
didn't
you
see it.
yeah.
I can't cast it. It has to
Okay,
be
great.
unoccupied.
So the creature, and it looks like your first instinct is that it might be reaching out to attack him in some way, but it just passes into his body, and
That's
you need to make
not
me a charisma saving throw.
Oh,
Ball off.
good thing that's not me.
What is going on down here?
15?
15. It passes in, and Erland feels this kind of chill wash over him, and he's not sure what to make of it. It kind of, you see Erland's hands kind of shaking for a moment, and then it passes through him to the other side, and Erland kind of catches his breath. And that's where we're going to end.
No! Get out of here!
So
That
you see
thing's
a sort of
possessing
spectral, sort of
Yeah.
spectral figure. You're not entirely sure yet what it is. I am going to
figured
let Erland write this down. You now know that something passed through you, and its effect was ineffective, so you can take your attack action right as soon as it passes through you. So
Great.
just remember that you do get to take an attack.
Whoa!
Guys, I can't make charisma saving.
What if they're nice? though?
No,
I got none.
Neither do. Yeah, no.
What if they just make us do a little
Beezaura and
dance?
Safira are just gonna be like dancing with the ghosts.
I'll just be possessed forever.
That is where
my
we're going to
God.
end for tonight. Something spooky in the tunnels of the Speederway.
Do Do you have that thing of pestilence with you? Or
I
do
have
you
one
have
pestifer for
yeah.
pestilence?
Although that works on that works on spirits, I think. Undead,
Yeah, it does.
maybe.
It works on undead. Yeah.
Why would an
I have
undead
poison
thing
resistance,
be dealing?
and I have an ant.
They don't
Well,
like the juice.
a lot of things
they don't like the
gases
floor
seeping into
juice.
the Underdark.
Yeah.
Why don't they like the floor juice? What is the floor juice doing to them?
You hate the floor juice.
I don't know
It's
what the
different.
floor
She's
juice
indifferent
is.
about the floor.
It's
juice.
different.
I'm
floor
ambivalent
juice.
It
about
is
the floor
different
juice.
This is definitely different.
Until
It
we
is
find out
different
exactly
floor
what it
Well,
is.
this isn't the
not like
miasma that was seeping.
Oh no, I know, but
No,
you
it's
didn't
not.
like what they were doing to the spiders.
Well, I love spoods.
It doesn't harm them.
Speeders.
It just keeps
Speeders.
them a little docile.
Yes, I know. I like
In any
spoods.
case,
Before I forget, Yub also donated bits. Thank you so much.
Thank
We
you
really
so
appreciate
much.
it.
Thank you guys
What a
for joining
delightful
us.
return.
Welcome back to
Yes.
Tabletop Notch. We're thrilled. We're
Oh
excited
my
to be
God.
back. Diving back in. A little intrigue, a little mystery solving in Nagarwas. Before Orba runs off on her lonesome.
Yeah, poor Orba's like-
we're sending 1 to 2 people with you. God damn it.
1 to 2. You're not one of them. You didn't
Yeah.
volunteer.
Yeah, bitch.
I know, but you will have 1 to 2 companions.
I need a chaperone
If
for
I
my
have
child.
to create one out of mud.
can
We
do
will
that.
pick right up there when we come back in the Cedarway.
Oh,
Something spooky.
Oh boy.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank
for
you
joining
for
us. We'll be
joining
back next
us.
week and hopefully every week from then on.
Till the dawn.
We're back.
I-
To the
Till the end
It's
of
okay.
time.
Yeah, I almost said the dawn of time.
Till
and
the
that would have
dawn,
been
till the
behind us.
Time
Beginning.
is a flat circle.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.
Goodbye.